new session of Rescue at Raxis. Last time, which was quite a while ago in fact now, the party finally engaged in T-top battle, where they had to attack the water, because the water was weird. They also got involved in a little bit of puppet therapy. They raided a lab, which took a while to get into. And now, as we get back to the party in action right now, the battle has ceased. The horrible water has stopped attacking them. The area itself is still swirling with a heavy purifying current, and they are gathering around the colossal teapot knight. Because leaves have been chucked in, and he's got a brew on. Although some of you may be limping, some of you are incredibly soggy. But yes, currently he is just bubbling away.
Where the hell did the water elementals go?
We dispersed them all.
Yeah.
Oh, I can come back out now?
Yes.
Yes, you can come back out now.
Well, somebody had to pick Cornelius up.
Hup. Hup.
Yes, thank you.
Hup.
Everyone watches the tiefling dancer skip around and hopscotch across
Well,
the
I
room
have to go
platforms.
pick up our Jack in the Box friends.
Mm-hmm.
I put them down.
You did.
So I go over to pick them back up.
Oh, we're on the move.
And while Cornelius is standing there,
Yes.
there you go.
Who's it
strategy.
go- Yeah, we have to ask who's it going to. There's no guarantees.
Pupplesworth.
To Cornelius.
Pupplesworth feels great.
He does, actually. He's completely unharmed. A little soggy, but he's fine.
Now this one goes to me, though. And of course, the small one goes to me.
Agreed.
Zarzul, you still have quite a buttery biscuit mashing around in your mouth.
Oh yeah, you got a pick.
Excellent.
Yep. And the teapot knight slowly sort of sidles in, one arm on the platform and just sitting there. Takes a while to boil.
What the fuck?
I look to the others. Do we have any cups?
I assume they're actually no, that we probably don't have in our canteen.
I have a
because the dog-
tankard, that's it.
Not
What's in a misket?
a problem. The big hand closes, opens up again. The biscuit is still where it was, the spare one. But there's also a few cups, saucers, spoons, sugar cube container. No sugar cubes.
Ah, thank you greatly.
No sugar cubes. Bless me.
Tea is to be enjoyed correctly. And if one of you fuckers put a foot wrong, he's gonna kill you for it.
So am I allowed to put milk in my tea? Or is that a death sentence?
The teapot looks at you for a moment. You assume. The hand closes again. You think, oh god, all that's going to get fucking broken apart, but then opens up again like a magic trick. And there is a small little canter of milk.
Now remember, milk goes in first, and then the tea.
Oh, shit. Cat almost sent me off on an adventure.
You fucking plebeian. Anyway. The correct way, of course, is you pour in while also stirring the tea to get a proper mix going on.
Yeah.
True, people say you can scald the tea that way, or scald the milk that way, but you're only adding in a jag.
Jag, I love that show.
And, you know, it's still a horrible place. It's still a bit mildewy in smell, but, you know, you're all gathered here and there's just this clattering on his lid. Now free of the bolts. Few more minutes.
So, can we take a short rest and spin some hit dice?
It'll basically be happening while you have the tea, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
what I
say
was
that
about to
would
suggest.
that would be.
Because I assume you're not going to rush off immediately.
No.
No.
After all, we're going to have to roll for when we eventually gets poisoned by the poison leaf we put inside. Right now.
And as he finally starts to whistle at the boil, you watch as the other hand lets go of the lance, which just floats completely upright in the water. Reaching up, pulls his lid off very daintily, with thumb and smallest finger, and sets it down on the platform, before reaching back into his own head and bringing out a smaller version of the teapot that is his head, which looks like the tiniest little tinker toy in his giant digits.
I'm so confused. I'm gonna roll at disadvantage.
You still got quite a few tangles out.
Yeah.
And man, you were getting those crumbs out. Those been there since before Raxis. And then, very slowly, each cup filled up. It leaves you guys to sort out the milk. And it is a nice fragrance. It's very... what's the right sort of term for it? It's very woodland glade kind of thing. There is a whiff of nature, but sort of feels weird coming in that warm. Like you take a deep breath of the scent and you feel you're in a lovely little pristine forest. You can basically visualize the lake beside it, the deer running about. But it's warm because it's boiling water, so it's an odd combination of elements. It seems like it should be refreshing, but it's warming.
Rain is a heathen that does apply some milk to her tea.
Oh,
That's not a heathen.
almost forgot. And when the teapot is put back in the head, then the lid, the hand comes back down again, and biscuit selections. There's a crumbly one and a buttery one for each.
Ooh, how delightful. Thank you so much.
I will sample a crumbly one.
It's stiff enough in the fingers, but when you start biting, oh yeah, there's a snap, but then it just starts to come apart. It's got plenty of gaps to fit tea in. Those, my friend, are the Dunkables.
And I do indeed go a Dunkin'.
Everyone sips their tea, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's quite lovely, in fact. Siegfried, as you take a slow, long sip of it, you think back to those times you were in a university. You remember your classmates, although the faces aren't really in place there. You think of when you were first learning down... You were given this old master spell book, and you were studying down it, and just... None of it really made sense initially, and you were a bit panicking, but then...
You're not the right person.
But then
You
you
said
kept on
Siegfried.
thinking about it, and then... It took a few while, but Costello, you eventually did master Mage Hand. And you're able to flick it out quite expertly. Although, it seems weird that very soon is filled with the next thought of when you were drawing on the walls in the cave. Everyone else was chiding your angles and your sharp lines, like they just wanted to do nice simple etchings, but you really wanted to get those lines defined, and then there was that moment you finally stepped outside, past the guards, past the swarm. You got through the tunnels with just a gaggle of friends. There was only about 40 or 50 of you at the time. But then you saw sunlight at the end. It hurt your eyes. It stung at your scales. And as you looked back, you saw there was only about 12 left of your friends. But you all walked outside and just saw the greatest cave of all. You could not see the roof. You could not see the walls. All around you was just openness. It was an amazing moment for you, Rain. And then you remember turning to go back into the cave, and you saw it there, the anvil, the tools, the rust. Everything there just smelt of industry, of work, of exertion. You remember the first time you picked up a hammer, it was so large in your hands, you had to get both. You were just a child at the time. But you felt this reassuring it just felt natural to you. You couldn't carry the weight right, you couldn't balance it right, there was no way you were going to strike consistently. But it felt good in the hands. And then as you looked to the vague face, you can't really recall the features now of the man who worked the forge. And he just let you come along and help. And then you see yourself as years pass, how most of the time you didn't even bother with mittens or the apron. The flecks of iron weren't sharp enough to pierce the skin, and the embers didn't even bother your hell-tainted hide. It was fine. You weren't bothered at all, Malgern. As you looked back on your life and all the taverns and pubs, copiously. Sometimes you were conscious in them, sometimes they were just a hazy memory as you had your head resting on the table in a pool of what you hoped was just spilled beer, but probably also your own spittle. And there was that time that you had to stand outside the door for, it felt like 10, 20 minutes as one of your fellow officers was inside explaining the man was dead. You weren't responsible, but you just felt that you were. You felt you had caused it. You hadn't caught the perp. You had chances. You could have seen the pattern. But he was dead now because of you. She emerged to your memory faceless, but she explains she just wants him caught, and the blame isn't on you. And then Wolfgang, you remember as you were pulled free of that spiderweb bag. There were strange foods being forced into you. Most of the time you're just being tugged along in a leash, though. There's not a lot of happy memories now that you think about it. But as all the cups clatter and settle on their saucers, there's just this strange moment as you all look to each other. It's gone then, but there's still the small recognition of, wow, that was a lot of stuff to experience all at once. And you're pretty certain not a lot of it was yours.
Well, Zazzle looks down at his cup and says, "That was interesting."
Zarzul, are you sure you didn't give your stash?
I think I gave the right thing. I don't think I put mushrooms in the teapot.
This wasn't the stuff you... oh wait, actually wasn't. Did anyone else notice if he bought from the...
No one saw that.
Oh no!
No, but Zarzul, you definitely put in the leaves from the Kettle Knight. And only those. You're probably now wishing you kept a hold of him.
Yeah.
But they weren't contaminated at all. You just chucked them in.
Why did it feel like I had a memory of a Waterdeep crime novel?
Are you asking me?
Well, in general, but if you have any input, sure.
The tea was a gift from wood elves.
Oh,
Oh,
It was to share in community.
Oh no.
community. I get it.
Father enjoyed it alone to focus the mind. But shared, it is shared.
Well, it was certainly a thing.
It's lovely with a scone. But there are limits to my creation. I can only do biscuits.
They're still quite good.
They're very nice biscuits.
Thank you. And Father never finished the sugar dispenser. My apologies.
It's quite all right.
When was the last time you saw him?
I was not built with a sense of time, but I think years. longer, these platforms were one. They were a great ring around me. The chambers to the left and right, they were not filled with rock. It has been time.
Do you remember them filling those with rock?
I remember watching. Yes.
Do you happen to know why they were doing that?
I assume Brick failed. No man has been here since father.
Brick failed? They bricked it up first?
No, the tunnels, the chambers fell on themselves.
So it wasn't deliberate.
I do not know the whims of the land. May I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Would you like another biscuit?
Yes, please.
He just slowly rotates, hand outstretched. And yeah, there's a to choose from. 2.
Biscuit.
And of course he makes a gesture for the rest of you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you,
good
and
sir.
It's much quieter now.
well, yes. Now that the creatures in the water aren't spitting at us,
They are not meant to. I am the guard, and they help clean.
Hmm.
Do
But
you
why-
know... Oh, go on,
why have they
Cornelius.
become so aggressive?
The water has new inflow. It is filthy. Water from there. And he points to what some of you, especially Malgern, I suppose he's got the good subterranean sense of direction, northwards. Which to you guys would mean the mountains, the castle, and the other kingdom. That's the stuff that's north. It started recent time. Long after all was crumbled and lonely.
Alright, that's not horribly surprising. We're going to be looking into that probably.
Yes, speaking of, mind if I take a sample of the water?
By all means.
Yeah, take an old, let's take an empty healing potion and fill it up with, kind of try and wash it out to clean out any,
Impurities.
yeah, and just fill it up with water from here.
Also,
Someone
because
can-
you've all enjoyed a tea, you get to roll 1 extra hit dice, and that is temp HP.
Lovely tea. Time to roll bad.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Okay,
Wow.
I'll take that. Wasting
You-
all the good rolls now.
As a share now, you will also be immune to the poisonous passage to get back. You feel nicely sort of emboldened and refreshed. Bit of vigor put back into you.
Am
I
I
have-
biggened as well?
I have 50 HP now.
It won't last.
No, no.
I still have a red dot because I was almost out of hit die.
Even with that, she's still injured. And he just sort of sits and bobs there, rocking around on his bow. Over boog, if you will.
Well, it has been a lovely cup of tea, but I'm afraid that we must be going on.
I hope we can have another sometime.
Certainly, the only trick will be, well, coming back here again.
Okay.
Do you know anywhere? Do you know of any other ways to get in here? Well, the way we came from?
I've never left this chamber.
Ah,
I spoke my words here, and this is where I float still.
Hmm.
well then, take care then. And hopefully we can see about dealing with the impurities that are currently entering this lake.
I do my best. None get to the city.
Your efforts are much appreciated.
Which makes you now wonder, what had happened if we'd killed him?
Yeah.
There would have been consequences.
Yes.
There are no consequences to anything. What are you talking about?
Oh,
No,
this
no,
does
whatsoever.
make me question if I should put down permanent teleportation circle.
You have one of those?
I don't, but I'm pondering.
What if I come back in 12 more levels? Well, actually, as a warlock, she does get it a little bit sooner.
Assuming it's on my spell list. It is not.
Or you just hire a powerful wizard.
Yeah, but I'd have to hire him for a year.
Well, get a lot of gold.
I'm considering it.
So, back to the present action of the party.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that instead. That'll be good.
Are you going to share with the rest of the class?
No.
I'm pondering. I'm probably going to tell the Fuggle Clumps about this to see if they'd be interested. Make sure the tea night's always here to give out tea. Stage is always available for kids.
And you do get a little hazy recollection in your head there of how your patron did ask to be showed it, and now you can't but help but imagine the huge, hulking, ashen monstrosity that he is playing with dolls.
No, I more imagine him in a nice pink shirt giving out snow cones.
If you're wondering, no, there is no smoke from her pipe right now.
I imagine we can hear in the distance some sort of weird noises coming from. And he did tell us not to go back, so we're not gonna investigate. I-
Yes, not
I
till
don't-
much later.
Alrighty, so. What does the party do next?
Well, we still have the issues of certain very frail, ghoulish creatures.
And they still have that bigger problem that likes to fly away and turn invisible.
Oh, that will be such fun.
Yes. How do we get him inside the stone building that Albert is holding up?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Well, that's easy. We just need a good bait.
I mean, it helps that you've got your normal bait right there with you. Answers to Mr. Andom.
Oh, I was looking towards the owl bear.
No.
And yeah, in your journey back, there's a lot of orc corpses, but that's about it. Nothing has changed since getting back into the tunnels.
Siegfried, don't attack the ghoul friends.
Well, he didn't do it last time.
That was more Malgorn.
Yeah.
Ghouls? What ghouls?
That was the response I knew I was gonna get. That's why I said that. Remember, he doesn't, for some strange reason, he can't remember doing any of this.
Well, certainly he can remember the weird acidity ghoul. In fact, I'm proud that you didn't freak out there.
Ghouls? What ghouls? You never mentioned ghouls.
They're friendly ghouls.
Well, they're not really friendly. They're just not a threat.
How
What
big
do
are
you
their
mean?
teeth?
What do you mean they're not
had
friendly?
conversations with us. Yeah, that was pretty friendly.
They're not hostile. I wouldn't really call them friendly.
No, the ghouls with the necromancer, those were also talkative, but I don't think I would call those friendly.
Yeah, those ones I don't think were friendly. These were friendly.
I thought the ones with the necromancer were pretty friendly. They were communicative and everything. These ones just kind of shivered, and we didn't want to touch them for fear of hurting them. That's not exactly friendly.
They talked to us plenty. The other ones kind of wanted to eat us, but decided not to because their friend said not to.
Siegfried, none of this is triggering your memory whatsoever. It's almost like you weren't there any of this.
I'm handing around my backpack. Obviously, there must be some liquor in there, so
As you reach around, rummage inside your backpack in a bit of a flurry, you just hear, oh god, I'm gonna die."
Oh, is he setting off his doll?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I get my doll out and promptly wrap it up 10,000 times and...
It's just
So
getting
I'm
into the spiel about being queen of the undying horde as you manage to get most of a cloth around it.
I preferred when it said the other stupid shit.
I'm kind of just looking over my shoulder like, what the...
As it finishes its speech, though, one last jostle as you're wrapping around, you hear very muffled, "A woman can go for a powerful magic caster."
Sorry, what?
Well, now that I can't disagree with. That one's accurate.
Also, where are you right now?
Behind you.
Are you on top of Pufflesworth? Or...
Oh, no, on his screen, for some strange reason, Castalia's on top of me.
Okay.
No.
There we go.
He was right here.
No, it was on his screen, but not
Yeah,
mine.
I was just like...
Now you'll have to ask Alcano about that.
All I saw was you were standing where Rain is currently standing, and then Pufflesworth was behind you, and I was like, where the fuck are you right now anyway?
Trying to stay out of sight.
I'm giving you death glares because your puppet is saying things that I don't like.
That are only too accurate.
She doesn't like it either. She strongly disagrees with it.
We might need to have a talk about this later.
Yeah, well, just bring the truth, zone of truth spell, and then problem solved.
Fortunately, nobody in the party has that.
Are you sure about that? I could acquire it. I mean,
Just gotta go to sleep for 8 hours.
yeah, that's all I gotta do.
Also, I want to talk to you about your sister and the bro code.
Oh, I have zone of truth. Right now, I have zone of truth.
You have it
I'm
prepared?
using the spell slot. Yeah. I have the little red dot on it and everything.
Well, you could always just have a little bit of a powwow of a party here. That would be a good chance to bond.
He's just
Well,
like,
at this-
we're
at this
supposed
point,
to do
I'll
this
just say,
at the
look.
stage.
When we decide to sleep, I'll cast the zone of truth and problem blip and solved, okay?
Well, you know, it's also handy if some of you pin down Siegfried
Yeah.
and then cast it.
Well, all of us would be involved then, including Siegfried.
Well, the problem is, of course, Siegfried knows how to avoid interrogation even by Sword of Truth.
Yes,
Yeah,
Zone
but
of
it's
Truth does
saying
not.
anything.
Zone of Truth, you can only speak the truth, but you're not compelled to. You can be
Even
quiet.
answer.
You have the right to remain silent.
You can also omit. So if someone asks you what was on the shelf, you can say a green vase. You don't have to say there was a blue one, a yellow one, and a green one. Unless they say what was all the things on the shelf.
I mean, you could also truthfully say, I don't want to tell you. That's not a lie, it's still the truth.
Oh,
It's
there's
just
so many
me.
holes in that spell. God damn it.
Well, the thing is, though, you're just validating suspicion if you do not wish to answer the question.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't answer a yes or no question, you know
Come
what the
back with a
answer is.
warrant.
It's a good way of validating truth.
I will not speak on the grounds it may incriminate me, because I've done a lot of bad shit. Just a lot. I don't want to get specific about it, because it feels like that's something you could arrest me for.
Correct?
I'm out of jurisdiction.
You can only try me in Waterdeep. I would like to go to the embassy, please. Well? Gonna get a wiggle on?
Do we want to check in on our ghoulie friends? Tell them we might be back?
I mean, to be fair, Zarzul, using his bullshit cheap-ass senses that shouldn't be on the revised ranger sheet, was able to say they're not undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, we really don't want to bring them with us either, considering how frail they are. There really should be other people who take care of this.
What was your other thing? Your other favorite enemy?
Aberrations, I think it was.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it does work now. They are aberrations. We'd forgotten about that. Well, I had definitely, but you were able to sense both those types.
And what does that mean?
It tells us what they are, which isn't undead. And they're technically not a ghoul.
Aberrations are fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
generally. Like the thing you fought that breathed ice. That's the kind of thing that would be an aberration. Maybe. It also seemed to be going a different way. Which is why the bonus damage didn't trigger, if you're wondering, where's Zarzul.
Yep.
It's along the lines of an aberration, but it's not the class as that. Class is something else.
Alright, let's go warn our frenzies that we're gonna have to go deal with something that's dangerous so they can't come with. And then we'll see about rescuing them.
Alright then. The rest of you coming along, or
Yeah, I have to move my. I had to close my character sheet to get to my token.
I'm just following along in confusion.
Mm-hmm. Why break with a habit of a lifetime? It's when you get here that things are a little different than you remember. You remember where you lodged in a Peton and a rope. You pulled that free and there's the hole there, but there's also a lot of big chunks taken out of the wall.
No.
A little bit of
The
a
orcs
think.
probably went
Yeah, you're thinking axe blades, maybe. Bit of rough and tumble. There's a bit of blood getting watered down at the bottom there.
oh,
It's red
boy.
blood, though.
Alright.
And you remember
Okay.
these are incredibly steep steps. Where even a goose-stepping dwarf would not be able to walk down these properly.
put out a rope then.
It's easy enough, you've even got the same hole.
All right, then I guess I'm going first.
It's unsteady, it's unpleasant. I mean, as you get down each of a step, it feels like you have to, whenever you put one foot down, the other foot on the step feels like you're almost about to do the splits in a diagonal.
What do I have to roll to not kill Pufflesworth?
Well, it's easy enough. You just keep them in your arm and then sort of hop down step by step with the rope.
Okay.
He's dangling from you like a grumpy cat.
No, that would be my cat. Checking the pouch on the way down.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to check the pouch because it's floating in front of you. It's just been asleep this whole time. Occasionally it's changed positions, but it hasn't given a slightest fuck.
It's still floating outside the cage as well.
Well, no, there's no cage right now. It's in a papoose.
Yeah,
So would it be floating outside the papoose?
Yeah.
correct.
This whole time there has been a displacer kitten just floating there in front of his chest.
Nothing of value is wrong.
What?
Nothing of value is wrong.
Don't think it answers the question.
Right, Malgren, you go first. You're big, strong man.
You do hear very hurried scrabbling and splashing. I'm also going to remind you you're sending Malgern forward again.
Don't attack our friends.
I don't have any friends.
Our
There
friends.
you
not
do.
your-
What about me?
Okay, I have one friend.
And Siegfried?
and Frida wasn't so bad either.
And you see both the malformed creatures just huddled up, shivering, terrified in the corner.
All right. Rain was trying to tell
Hi.
me something.
I
I
don't
can't
you
remember.
fu-
Do I remember what you were
Yes,
trying
you
to tell
do. You
me?
fucking dumbass.
I love how she looked. She heard him clicking his fucking sheet and looked across to see if he was rolling an attack.
That's why I did that. I was like, I'm gonna click something just to see what's.
Hey, everything good with you two?
They very slowly turn to look at you all, and then they sort of relax. Sort of. They're still hunched over and kind of petrified.
Did the orcs make it down here?
It's just like they're looking at each other, just trying to confer, and just a confused shake of the head.
Okay, so you haven't seen anybody other than us.
Vigorous nod.
Hmm. Where did they go then?
Siegfried, these look to you like malnourished ghouls at a distance. But then you start to pick up on the differences because you've been familiar with these type of creatures. You can see that they're not pallid skin. You can see that there is a pattern on them. Some bits of the skin seem to be larger, some seem to be strangely grown. Like one of them has half his mouth covered by just growth of this patterned skin. It's very finely detailed, and then you realize it's scales. But it seems to come out like fingernails.
Okay, I'm staying well away though. So hungry, I don't want to be.
Yeah, this is only... I'm just reusing the token for the ghoul. They don't have a bit of body in them. They're not covered in gore or anything. They're actually just kind of like ivory figures.
So, did you hear them start coming down the steps here?
Nods.
But they didn't make it to this room here.
Shake of head.
Did you hear them go back up?
Tilting of a head and then another nod.
Okay, so they went down here to hide and then went back up.
Just nod, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to be going to deal with a very dangerous situation. And considering what you guys are right now, it's probably not best if you come with us.
They just sort of settle back to their huddling.
We'll try to figure out something to do with your situation after we deal with the bigger problem that's going to stop you guys from escaping.
There's a nod, and you see one of them raise a hand up as if to scratch the shoulder, and then just stops as it realizes what it's doing. And the hand comes away.
Alright, do your best to stay out of sight. Make sure that you take care of yourselves while we're gone, okay?
There's a nod, and then everyone just starts to get back to his drawing.
Okay. She goes to leave.
Malgurn, you're in the room sort of unsupervised right now.
Malgurn!
Before I leave, I leave them a couple of rations.
They slowly approach them. And then sniff. Bring one up to the mouth to bite. And then just a slight nod when they feel their teeth start to get into them. Even though they're eating the wrapper.
Okay. Cool.
Like that one time I saw someone try to smoke their first cigar, and they're literally smoking it in a pine wrapper, and I'm no.
And you now hear, as you walk away, the echoing of crinkling paper getting torn up. And then the snap of hardtack. Which makes you realize, man, they've got fucking powerful jaws. They managed to break that shit.
Usually you've got to soak it for at least half a week before you can even bend it.
Yep. And at that point, you gotta be careful when you bend. It might spring back and hit you in the face.
Yeah.
And so you set off into the tunnels again. I'm guessing you're heading right back to the darkness.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to tunnel up or find an escape.
No, we're trying to go back where we came.
Okay.
Although, the second that we actually reach the darkness, you can bet Rain's going to change into the thing that will not have her naked again.
Alright, so the maid's outfit is...
She chose it.
Yeah.
Well, she can't be running around in the fancy dress.
You can! You easily can!
No, because then she might ruin it.
Yes!
There's prestidigitation for that.
Or just chop bits of away and then buy a fancy dress some other time.
No, she can't ruin the fancy dress.
Well, we always got the wedding gown. Well, we always got the wedding gown we can use.
That's back at the house.
Yeah, that's...
Because you guys never bring useful shit.
Despite
fair.
the fact that I told everyone, is there anything you want to bring with you? And it's just, yeah.
Well, to be fair, no one's going to think, we should bring the wedding dress. You never know.
Yeah.
We might cause an incident. So, I guess she volunteers Castalia to hold up the bedroll while getting changed.
What are you doing?
Getting changed because when I go through there, I'm suddenly going to be in my bloomers and my very thin top, and that's not going to work.
And what are you changing into?
As you see the
Maid's
frilled
outfit.
headpiece go on.
Why?
Because I don't want to be naked.
Okay, so you don't want some spear clothes that I have.
Oh, for Pete's sake. I get the dress, I get the maid outfit on, and then I put the other dress over top because it's considering when we go through, it'll turn
Yeah,
into
it turns
the
into leather
armor
armor.
bit.
Yeah. And when the sheet falls away, it's like she didn't really dress at all. This is definitely not a working maid's outfit. This is a working girl's maid outfit.
Right.
Ah,
Okay.
Come on, that's a good one, that.
Yeah.
So we'll just go over here for token reference. But you are now standing at this wall of darkness. In the tunnel.
Darkness. Darkness, darkness.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't let me change that.
You could always cast magic missile on it.
I could. I really could.
I think you can, actually.
anything we need out of Cornelius's pouches before we go in?
Good question.
That's a good question, and I want to thank you for asking it.
We could get a little coin just in case.
More wine.
No, this one isn't in the pouch because at the time I received it, my pouches weren't working.
I don't know, but you've still got a few other bottles, I'm sure.
Do you think we could convince the Oni to drink the death wine if we've got any left?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could try.
As long as you offer him a child to go with it, because it's always horrible to drink without a snack.
And you'll be glad to know I've come up with a plan to make the Oni visible when he turns invisible.
Which is?
I'm gonna touch him and try and cast a light spell on him. He'll glow if nothing else.
Nah, the light spell is an object, not a creature.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use it on his. You could try and touch his scythe.
Yes,
That
but
should be quite easy.
but the wording of the invisibility spell, anything that they're wearing becomes invisible. So even if it's lit up, it's still invisible because it's a spell acting on it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Nice try.
Because don't forget, that sort of shit can be done in you guys as well.
Hmm.
But I believe that the one with the wine is Rain.
Yeah.
She was the one who confiscated the skin. If there's any left.
Rain has the last 2 swigs of the death wine.
Correct. I don't know if that'll work. I'll be entirely blunt. I'm not sure that would work.
It does kind of look like the kind who would be able to handle a con save.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it seemed to recall that when Sasul tried to poison him with the poisonous arrows, he handled it pretty solidly. The con save.
He didn't seem to have much issue now.
Anyway,
Yes, anyway.
let's take out the seashell and activate it at the darkness.
Well, the seashell lets you cast the message spell. So you're actually able to talk to Albert to get him to come down and open it.
Okay, I couldn't.
So what's your message?
There, we have returned. We found the lab.
Oh, alright, time to open up to a Manor Reborn. Takes a while as you stand there, pacing about. Rain, there is just incessant lace and frills on all of everything you've got on you right now that just never seems to sit right. And then the wall of darkness, like a sort of rubbery canvas, is pulled back. And you can see Old Man Albert standing there. Oh, did I interrupt something? Your strumpet seems to have changed.
I want wanted more covering.
And you just went with what natural, I see. So, did you wind up adding an orc woman to your harem?
No, but there certainly were orcs down there.
Well, maybe you'll try out for next slot. Who's that?
Oh,
As he obviously points a finger at Siegfried.
That's Siegfried.
I've got no idea what's going on.
You look it.
I feel it.
Also realize you've got to drag it on your token. You weren't here for this chapter. Hang on, actually, I might have a spare. Where did I put it? Oh, yes, here we go. Hang on. Although you'll have to edit the number. There we go. Where'd you find him?
what do you mean find him?
He came in with us.
No, he did not.
I've been saying that, but they don't believe me. I got no memory of going from where I was to where I am.
Hmm. Well, get in quick.
I know.
Quick.
I know he walked in with us.
Yeah, I got that, but after that, it's.
You did not enter my house with that man. Get in, get in. Quickly before it closes. Come on. As you all walk past him, he then just grabs Siegfried's arm. Not you immediately. Let's take a look at you. So, what do you remember?
Heading into town, blackness. That was about it, and then in the tunnels underneath, and teapot. I got no idea what the teapot was. So I still haven't figured that.
Did you emerge from here? Did you emerge here? And he points to a bit beyond the darkness. Basically, just where you guys have been waiting.
No, I didn't think so. I mean, we went into the darkness. I remember that little bit, but after that, nothing.
And then he also, while you're there, Siegfried, you feel a little weaker. So, as ever, take note of your current HP and remove what you got from the belt. And just put that aside for now.
Yep.
Because none of them told you that magic items don't work in this current area.
Alright.
So you get no +1s, but they're still resilient, which is why Castalia's dancer outfit hasn't been shredded up or anything. She just doesn't get any statistical benefit.
To be fair, we all assumed he was with us the whole time.
Yes.
So we wouldn't have to tell him that.
Yeah.
But now he's finding out this suddenly. And the old man sort of pulls you down by the beard. Monocle in one eye to get a good, firm look at your own eyes. Yes. Alright, you're a mystery. Move on. He just lets go of you, slaps you on the back, which stings quite a bit. And then the sheet of darkness is pulled down, and the rope is pointed to. Well, get on. Come on, all of you. Suppose you'll want your women up first, then your boy toy, and then you.
Well, I imagine could go first, and if we can help the ladies up.
So how's it, as he looks to Siegfried, so how's it feel to be one cockerel amongst a harem of hens?
Confusing. Absolutely nightmare.
Does he make you dress up like that one as he gestures the ring?
I have no idea what's going on.
Don't you worry, don't you worry. I can get you some ointment if you have any damage. Move on.
Okay.
As he watches you start to climb up, Rain, he can't help but chip in. So, do you think your mother wore something like that mongrel to get yourself a mixed bloodline?
She stops mid-climb and just stares at him.
He stares right back. And he's got a smile on, but it's not a friendly smile.
She promptly ignores him and climbs the rest of the way, ignoring the question entirely.
I must say you've done all a good job, at least if you have done the job at all. You don't really smell that much of shit, just a little bit. But I've been living here long enough in the poor district, it's kind of a natural bouquet.
Suits you.
I hold up the Jack in the Boxes.
Oh. Interesting little toy. Is this part of what you found?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, good, good. We'll keep a hold of that now, for now, you Hornet Whore, and let's just delve into it in the dining room. Eventually, as you all get up into the main area, you can see that a full meal of stewed rat has been put out on display. There's a couple of still sitting on spits and whatnot, and the bowls have been arranged around the dummies.
Ah, didn't know you had company.
It helps the charade. So, let's see what you've got then. And remember, everything you found.
Yes, yes. Sadly, it seems like when we were down there, it didn't leave a whole lot to be found.
Mm-hmm. That's a lovely
Actually,
excuse to begin with.
Sadly, it seems like a lot of the documentations were burned.
Well, I'm not sure which parts of it was on purpose or because of the creatures.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Fascinating, fascinating. Anyway, relax your mind, and Rain, pop the Zone of Truth spell,
Wait,
because
what?
he's using it.
Wait, he's... Oh, okay, he's using it, okay. Where's the bot?
As he just strikes his staff down on the ground. Now, I know if you'll resist this, so please don't. It'll just make things more unpleasant.
What, you don't think I would have a trust in the old document?
Not remotely. Look at you, a man who can't even keep to one woman. Or just women, or just men.
Ugh.
So you get the choice here. You can choose to fail, or you can make a roll against it. That applies to all of you.
Lorraine doesn't care.
Yeah, can use fails as well. There's nothing to hide here.
It's just important to state.
Yep.
Because it will mean from here on you can only say the truth. But you can omit.
As we know it. Yep.
Or you can just avoid answering.
Bufflesworth, all his secrets are laid bare.
To the surprise of nobody.
Albert does look over at you, Rain. What a shock. I suppose most of the secrets you want to keep are just what he makes you do.
He makes me do nothing.
Now we know that doesn't have to be the truth.
Cornelius, please inform him that we do diddly squat.
I don't know what you give names to these things nowadays. Can't you just fuck
Okay.
properly?
Just for
No,
fun.
we do not fuck at all.
Well, see, he'd believe that.
Malgurn, you are compelled to tell the truth.
I figured as much. I thought I would roll just for funsies. Because my charisma is shit, so.
You never know, there's 20 sides on the dice.
Actually, no, my charisma isn't shit anymore. That's right.
Mine is excellent, though, so that's how I knew I was going to be passing that.
But he's aware that you passed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, well, ignoring your plaything, let's get back to what you actually brought here.
Well, it looks like what we mostly brought back here was, well, playthings.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I
and
give you a biscuit.
Rain pulls out the
I
ring
give
and
the-
passes it over.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the dress thing.
He picks it up, takes a small look at it, and then just flicks it onto the bar. Next.
I hand over one of the biscuits. Oh, it's the only one I had left. It's the crumbly one.
Just snatches it out of your hand and just stuffs it into his face. He doesn't even look like he's eating it, but he just grinds it against his mouth. And it just spills out crumbs. Next. You're trying my patience here.
That was also from the giant tea kettle knight.
Didn't ask about that.
Hey,
I
we
want a
did-
lab. I'm not taking any
He was
lip
guarding
from you
the
either.
lab. If you want into the lab, you're gonna have to tell the teapot knight that it's tea time.
I placed down the 2 Jack-in-the-Boxes.
Could you keep the gibbering from your harlot down?
We found these in the lab.
Hmm. And as he starts to turn the handle, there is a very quiet rendition of the sound. And he keeps turning, keeps turning. I see.
Oh, they're
I see.
magical.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
well aware of that. Now, shh.
She
Yes.
slowly gives a middle finger.
Or the D&D equivalent.
He raises 2 fingers to you and he says, I suppose that's how many you're used to. Before sliding the Jack-in-the-Box aside. What else?
Well,
He definitely seems to be getting more impatient.
well, then there's the who brought the T Knight, the little scale model of him.
Sets it down, turns it slightly, gives it a spin on the position as he just eyes it over very carefully. While he's doing this, you can hear very heavy footsteps quite high above.
Are you
Yes.
expecting company?
Oh no, that's Vione. He's out hunting again. He doesn't come inside, but he likes to walk on the rooftops to remind you he's there. Yes. Did you check this over for compartments, for hidden areas or anything? Did you identify it?
It's
did.
a replica of the teapot knight.
It's as she says.
Yes, but I don't want the words from her.
Well, too bad.
Remember, you're compelled to tell the truth here.
Indeed.
I think he.
You, the outwardly horny one. What did they do with this? As he keeps on twirling the teapot knight replica.
We found a giant-sized one that guards over a cistern.
Yes. I told you about them. I was the guardian, yes. That was the reason I couldn't get to the lab in the first place.
If you tell him it's tea time, he'll let you in.
He ignores you and just keeps looking at Castalia.
If you approach and state it is tea time, he will happily pour you some tea instead of trying to kill you.
Thank you. You're very helpful. Did you find anything else in the lab?
Just a couple of buckets of paints and a sewing kit.
Did anyone pick up the burned pages?
Well, they're too burned.
They're partially burned.
Cornelius, you're unable to say what you said, because you're omitting something.
The stage.
Yeah, he said, did you find anything else in there? Not what you brought back.
Ah, okay. Well, that's what I was thinking. Well, oh, right, we did. We do actually have something else. The
Where is it?
and that's when I take out my little puppet.
He snatches that from you, which of course means it says, well, let's get moving.
Ah, interesting. It actually works in here.
Just one?
One for each of us.
Let me see them.
I bring out my little Zazzle.
I hold mine up, but I state complicitly, I'd rather not hand it over. I'm quite fond of it.
Yes, well, right now we're dealing with an issue about your lover there, so I want to take a look at them.
What lover?
Well, the one that's leading you all around.
I don't see
I look
one.
at Wolfgang.
It's hilarious to think that he's the masculine one. Your dwarf woman there has much burlier arms. Although she's got the look of one who just lies there and takes it.
I am very angry. Like, imagine a vein popping out of the forehead. Yeah, that's Melgurn right now.
Then be angry.
Yeah. Excuse me,
Shut the fuck up!
woman?
Shut up! You hear further creaking, stomping. You hear a window being brought open, and then the stomping is closer. Continues to step around for a bit on the upper floors. And you hear muffled, still not entirely sure on this last bit. Let's try this again. Okay. There was a dwarf from afar, thrown out on his arse from each bar. He'll die in a gutter with a blood-stained sputter, and the rats will feast on the cadaver.
Mm.
Yeah, Cornelius cannot help but doing a bit of the at the end.
And Albert
So
just
how
looks
much
fucking
psychic
venom
damage
at
do
you.
we all take?
Oh, but Albert looks at you with pure fucking venom in his eyes. And just mouths, "Shut the fuck up!" I mean, I still like the fancy man one. That's a good one. Shame you went and tossed a zinc at me. I could have used that. Alright, not much left here. I'll fuck you up, old man. These Davies creepy things won't be around. And you hear floor depressing, and then the stomps are gone.
It's almost like he's getting worse at this.
That's the first time he's gotten into the place, so I'm blaming you lot for that.
I think he's getting impatient.
Not the only one. Figures now.
I mean, what was that end of that poem and rhyme? Like, come on, that was a bit of a stretch, wasn't it?
Who the fuck cares? Bring your figures here now.
I hand my figure over, if only to end this.
As you notice, you look at the bar where he smashed with his hand. There's a crater there now.
I hand over my dolphin without jostling it.
Oh, it's very accurate. It's got the same unfortunate look you have.
Yeah, I know.
The beard's healthier. Does Rain also provide hers?
Well, she'll pull the bedroll out, but that's about it. If I open this thing's gonna start yelling.
My God, what does he do to you?
Is the doll affected by the zombie?
You dog.
So unless you want the Oni to hear, it's staying wrapped up.
He's gone now. It's fine. Do you hear him stomping about? No, I don't. Figure. And another fucking massive chunk of the bar is smashed. Like it is splintered wood. Keep in mind, Albert, especially for you, Siegfried, he is a frail-looking old man, a bit hunched over, having to walk on a stick. He looks to be in his 80s.
Does this bar look like it's made of actual solid wood or just rotten wood?
It looks cheaply made, but not to be pulped that quickly. Although it could be dried out and ruined by now.
Still.
I'm not going to touch your love nest. Just bring it out and let me take a look.
I unfold it and I hold it out very gently, trying to get it not to talk.
He reaches voraciously for it to just snatch it out of your hand.
And she pulls it back. Again, if you shake it, it'll start yelling.
Fine. Put it in my hand.
Very gently she does.
And he just sets it on the bar, drops it. And you just hear, of course, the work of Prenders is one I will always follow. Then I will exceed it. I will do further than he ever could. Oh, that's a lovely name to hear about.
Well, at least that one was quiet.
I heard about the Prenders thing.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't hear that whole story.
Lovely little scandal it was. Interesting as well. Not wholly unrelated. But, importantly, you. Looks like Castalia. I want them all here.
I look at the doll I've already pushed forward and shrug my shoulders.
Okay. Fascinating, fascinating, yes. Each one quite exceptional. Yours, red one, is a bit strange. There's two in this. There's one in the wrist. Why would there be two in this one?
To what?
I know why there's two.
I'm not saying she's pregnant.
Oh no, I know that. I know why there's two.
I can take a guess why there's two.
Well, I'll hear it from you then.
Perhaps it's my patron.
No. Oh, you have one of those? Good to know. Well, I know what I'm taking. And he just slides all the figures together and stuffs them into his satchel. The rest is yours. It's useless to me.
I was rather fond of that.
Well, too bad. We made a deal.
Actually, he did.
And he's your owner, so I suppose it reflects on you lot, too.
Considering what might be bound to that contract, I would appreciate that we followed it. It would be me who would take the full brunt of the consequences.
Should have thought of that.
Although this... Hang on, though. He brings out the figures again and sets them down in a heap, and slides in the jack-in-the-box again. Continue to turn the handle for a moment, and then looks over to try and find the seam of the lid, which, as you guys know, wasn't there. Picks it up, gives it a hefty jiggle. A long sniff along the top of it. Well, you're lucky. You get to keep your little plaything. Yes, this is... I'll be keeping this one. The toys are yours. Now get out.
Did he separate the jack-in-the-boxes?
Nope, you can't do it. There's a metal rod can join them.
Good.
Yeah, but I think he gave us back our toys and he'd taken the jack in the box.
All your action figures are back.
Yes. Rain promptly folds it up again.
I push my doll forward. I promised those two I would bring them somewhere.
Well, they are somewhere.
No, somewhere specific. Not here.
Well, that's fascinating. Get out.
No. I
You're going
made a promise and I intend to follow through.
He adjusts his monocle for a moment, looks at Cornelius. Control your woman. And then goes right back to inspecting the jack-in-the-box.
I have no control over her than the...
Well, you're not doing a very good job, then. Show some spine. Don't worry, ones like that respond to it.
show some spine. I had at least some spine to correct that only of his ridiculous amount of usage of rhymes.
Well, at least he's being creative, whereas you're just here standing whipped. Put some control on her. Get her to work. Just get out of here.
I rub my chin for a moment, then say simply, Subject 4B, exposure period 12 hours.
Yes, fascinating.
I observed personally changes were minor. Acid present again. Failure.
Oh, please, you think I didn't see those freaks before? I told you I couldn't get past the night. The rest I witnessed and I did not care for it. This is far more interesting.
Then you did not go to the lab.
I couldn't get past the night, I told you this.
Oh, so you didn't know about the other lab.
The eyes narrow a bit. Alright, keep talking.
The lab past the frozen room.
Oh, I didn't feel like chiseling for a few days.
Oh, you would have found much interest there. Including the notes on those creatures.
Young lady, you might be used to a lifetime of tantalizing this one, but I'm not really interested. Get to the point.
One of the dolls was blank.
Yes? That is how they start. Or did you only work that out yourself? They start this way, then you spend a little time with them, and they take a piece of you into them.
We already worked that bit out because we got one for that one. And I point to Siegfried.
Then, of course, it's latched onto your memories, a little piece of you forever entombed into something else. Some will call that immortality, but that's just a joke. It's just a little fragment. But think of the implications you could do with it. A little bit of a soul at a time. And it could be released. It's not trapped there. What happens when someone has implanted on one and then holds it again? It's fascinating, his work, really.
I whisper to Rain, should we offer him a drink?
Oh.
I give it to Zarzul. I'm not doing it myself, but I'll give it to Zarzul so he can make the
No,
offer.
you should do it yourself.
No, she is not doing. If you forget, she's a cleric.
You forget! She is the one who chose to make the save, so she is the one who can lie.
She's also a wizard.
And doesn't know the difference between right and wrong.
And let's not forget why she's a cleric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly here.
She doesn't like the look of that at all because you have to remember.
Also, you don't think you're going to be finding... Yeah, this is just me out of character. I'm not saying this out loud. But incredibly suspicious. Suddenly, oh, I hate your guts. Here, have a drink.
Well, now we have to work on the Oni.
Well, good job, then. Get out.
I still want to deliver the Jack-in-the-Boxes to the Fuggle Clumps.
Well, then you can take up your problems with this one here, the one who controls you. Or he should be if he was doing a proper fucking job and man up.
The point is, if you recall, we're using your building.
He absolutely, blatantly ignores you, as in he turns a little further away when you're talking to show how little he's reacting to what you're saying.
You can ignore me if you want, but if we really wanted to, I mean, there are ways we can solve the problem with or without you. We're using your building.
Just continues to turn the handle for a bit, turns it the other way.
Zazzle takes the bottle and pours out a glass of wine. Up next to him. Would you like a drink, sir?
No, get out.
Okay.
None of you follow advice. I told you to leave.
Because we're going
Why?
to use your building.
We made an arrangement. The deal's been done. I'm done with you.
Fantastic. We're not done with your building.
I'm telling you to get out.
Look, you cannot give a crap about solving the Oni problem all you want. We actually do care, and we're here to solve the problem.
Rain, you notice he's reaching into his coat for a moment and pulls out a seashell that doesn't look a whole lot different from Cornelius's one.
Hmm. Cute.
And then he whispers into it.
Mm-hmm.
There. One more time I will say, get out.
Rain goes to get out.
What was our arrangement?
He just wanted first dibs or whatever you brought back from the lab.
Mm-hmm.
In exchange for?
For letting you out to check out the lab.
Mm-hmm.
You let Cornelius and Rain hash it out, and that's what happens when you do
If you
that.
recall, I didn't hash it out.
Yeah, it was just Cornelius.
That was Cornelius.
Yeah, again, because I was the only one who was doing anything.
This is why you don't let the wizard make deals.
Because I was focusing on getting a weapon so we could deal with them, so it didn't have to just the plan of trying to get them in a building and hope for the best.
Rain does have a plan, because she's pissed, but she has a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're waiting.
Well, we have to leave first.
Well, we're going outside then.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Ogden Gay and Ole. To be abandoned by all but the devil.
Oh, by the way, what has happened to the contract?
I mean, you don't see it sitting around.
I think it's more meaning, is it still in effect?
Well, I just mean, I'm guessing I was out of character when he asked it. If you want, you can ask him.
Yeah. So I assume that means that our contract is fulfilled then.
Oh, yes. Yes, you did a job. You did it well. Good job. Get out. I'm tired of you and your strumpets. Although, honestly, for kobold, the tastes of modern men are just beyond me. I suppose the wolf is yours as well. Disgusting. As he continues to go back to inspect the jack-in-the-boxes.
Well, are we leaving or...
If anybody else wants to do anything else, they can do whatever they want. But
Yeah.
Rain is at
Yes.
the door waiting.
Okay, good, because your token is saying some weird thing else.
Well, I was waiting before everybody said whatever they were going to say. Boom. There.
Right then. I guess we're going outside to discuss what it was we were going to discuss.
Okay, so you're all going to go out. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just bring your tokens into place. as you step out into the dark alleyway. And are once more in the frigid slums. Siegfried, first time in the frigid slums.
I'm still absolutely confused.
Yep. As you notice how they all bring out, artificial heating elements, you don't see Cornelius flick out his dancing lights.
Rain kind of goes a little bit further away just because she doesn't want him to hear whatever it is.
The door slams and you hear a whole fucking multitude of locks click into place.
Let's head down this way for a second.
What an insufferable little gnome.
He's a
man.
full-size person.
Rain leans over and whispers to Cornelius, "Who votes we tell the Oni where he is?"
He knows.
Are you sure? Because he was in the building. I have an inkling that he might not have known.
Well, we know that he only likes to play around with his victims.
I love this. Her plan is to sell him out to the Oni.
Yeah.
We don't
That's
like
not doing it
this
herself.
old man's rude and racist and judgmental. Let's have the child eater attack him.
Yeah.
I mean, hell.
Poor Ogden Ole.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's thinking about.
Also, I will have to be back in 1 moment.
Okay.
Right.
Feel free to take a second for yourselves to refill a drink if you want to.
I mean, I imagine at this point we are just selling him out for all the gay.
Yeah, I don't want them to be stuck with him.
I'm fine with it. I made a promise.
Yeah.
It's like I feel this is completely justifiable. Because for some reason, I don't think he's kept his nose clean in other matters either.
I have no issues letting one monster attack another monster.
Mulgern?
I mean, yeah, he's a dick.
Okay. For once, we're all in agreement. This is a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
We'll have to thank him for bringing us all together on
I
something.
mean, this guy's an asshole. I don't like him, so I'm just like, meh. I'm not gonna Malgrin won't go out of his way to do anything, but he's not gonna stop you all from selling him out.
Now, how does Siegfried, the former policeman, feel
Yeah,
about
that's-
his companions conspiring to do a murder?
Well, to be fair, we're not murdering anybody. We're just letting somebody else murder him.
I saw nothing.
We're just leaving the door open and leaving meat on the doorstep for the wolves. That's all we're doing.
For all, I don't know that Arnie's going to murder him at this point in time.
You can't. Yeah, you can't prove anything, right?
For all I know, it's just an enforcer that wants to go and break his kneecaps. I'm fine with this.
Well, he is a former
Excellent.
police officer.
Excellent. This is pretty good.
For our first murder hobo action of the day.
No, we're not murder hobos. Like, we're not murdering him.
Alright, I am back in play. Who else is still here?
I'll second.
Okay.
We're selling him out to the Oni.
We've all contemplated not murder.
There's a few little sort of shiftings at the door. And then Siegfried, by your foot, slides out a small, slightly jeweled bracelet. Looks to be made of sort of banded leather, but very high quality looking.
What's this
What?
for?
What was that?
I have no clue. Why are you asking me?
So you don't think I'm an ungrateful old man? Now fuck off my property.
I still wish you would return the Jack in the Boxes.
Well, next
They can
time
make
choose a better
children
husband.
very happy.
You're also no longer in the effects of the Zone of Truth.
So what was you said? The bangle of some sort?
Yeah, bracelet.
Bangle? Bracelet.
Alright, let's put that in our pocket and we'll
Cor-
investigate it.
Corded
later.
lever with a few jewels. As payment.
Well, what we really need is his house.
Well, unless we figure out a way to actually take, to find a way to take down the door, I don't think it's gonna happen now, and I don't think we're gonna get let back in.
Well, that's why I say we already solved that problem.
How?
The previous decision we just made.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, someone will let us in. God, that's great.
Well, we should probably go and check on our other associates.
Correct.
We should be okay. We have been away for quite a while.
It's only been 2 days. You told these guys you'd be ready for action, call on them in a moment's notice. But as you start to step down the street, part of it already solves itself. As you see, I think he gave his name as John,
Yeah.
steps out from the building, takes a great big stretch. You can see he looks like he's a man about to start his morning constitutional. Oh, it's you lot. I thought you'd all got away.
Well, no, we took a temporary trip.
Sort of. It's a long story.
Yes, it's quite a long time to wait, ready for the call to action.
Yes. Sorry, we're trying to get a advantage.
You look like you have one. Well, he says it with sarcasm. You look like you have one, yes.
Yes, I guess
we did.
Rain in a maid outfit would look like that, yeah.
Well, I mean, we did acquire one item, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Unfortunately, this Albert person turns out to be a...
Asshole.
Prick.
Well, I suppose he's an old man. I've worked for a few, but I've always been unpleasant. You got something in return, right?
This,
Yeah.
I just showed off the... Well, actually, who holds the bangle though? I guess it'll be Siegfried.
Siegfried has at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back inside and try to cheer myself up. I was hopeful, but just call me when you're ready. It's fine. I've changed the locks around. It's easy to get.
Yes, sorry about that. We truly did not know it would gonna take this much time. In fact, hang on as I walk over here, kind of as a bit of a forward payment. I hand him over 50 gold. I managed to acquire a little bit before.
As you hand it over, he starts to look through it. Oh, it's nice. Some realm coins of the coast. Oh, I see you're winding up with a couple of Aval from here as well. I'm not sure if everywhere takes fees. Now, obviously everywhere local takes fees, but they're a boring looking coin, aren't they? They're so flat. Like, I prefer the coin of the coast. It's got this nice sort of indent in it, although the sharp edges can be a problem with the silver pieces. They're just horrible little murder triangles.
Oh, I know. Terrible.
Gold, though, is lovely. You can jingle that in your hand properly, whereas these discs, they just slide around everywhere. And have you seen... It's a petty thing, I know, but have you seen such a gormless-looking king as the one on the back of the Val here? This was a man whose decisions mattered, and it looked like he couldn't even make them. You're meant to show the regalness, you know. You're meant to increase the chin instead of having it withered away and sunken like that. It's just... That's not really a king, is it?
Yeah, maybe it was the intern Minder who made this one.
Maybe that's the best they could do in making him look appealing. Okay, so I'll just go back with my friends, I suppose, and sit for a bit. So you won't be meeting me immediately or anything?
It'll be as soon as possible, but we need to check in on the other fellow.
Shh. He's just raised a hand for silence and all. You can hear in the distance, sort of that kind of direction, the faintness of the Oni laughing, although it does seem very distant.
Alright. You go inside. Take care.
He hasn't really been around this way since you guys walked away.
Was here just not too long ago in the
Was?
building with Alvarez.
I didn't hear a peep. Okay. Well, feels a bit odd saying this currently, but stay safe.
You as well.
Even though
Maybe have
that
a
one
drink
tried to
after
kill
this.
me, I still have nightmares of that now.
I apologize.
Also, who is that? Do I need to know?
Sick
I don't think I need to. I don't need to know. I'm just going back inside. The door's shut, then the door's shut, and then the door's shut as he goes into the house on the opposite side of the street.
Let's go find that Oni.
Well, we can bring him here pretty easily.
Yeah, but do we really want to make it obvious?
Assume we're further down when we're talking about this, and not just and the rest of the group is not standing next to the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're all grouped around Cornelius right now, I imagine.
Yeah.
No, we're right outside his door going, yeah, that guy's an asshole. We should probably do something about this.
I don't think he'd care if you called him an asshole at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that's the part that he
Yeah.
probably have something against.
I'm trying to remember where the traps were.
Right at the front door.
Yeah, right about here.
Oh, I should probably bring Pupplesworth with me.
Roll an animal handling? No. It's funny as that would be.
And once again, you're in a place that... Well, Siegfried, for you it's a new experience. You get the description. It is cold, it is windless, and it feels like you're in a giant cave and not in a street. The place echoes weirdly. And the only thing that's fighting off the absolute darkness is the lantern light. There is no pinprick of stars, there is nothing.
Okay.
And the whole place is bitterly cold as you see Castalia actually shiver a little bit. And you notice that there's no flower effects on Rain right now, there's no water effects on Castalia. They're just stepping about.
Yeah,
Now,
'cause
how much of
it's
this
like-
place do you remember the layout of?
Vaguely,
Oh, what?
actually.
Well, I'll help you a little bit at least. You remember this is where the Dragonborn was.
Green roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go visit our Dragonborn
And
friend.
then if we go all the way up here, can you see the point of the arrow?
Yeah, that's where the other survivors are.
Yeah, it was where
Yep.
a couple of survivors were. of course with the Dragonborn, was potentially someone Cornelius will continue to owe apologies for, Orbinson.
Assuming they're still alive in there. The Dragonborn didn't look the best of conditions.
Cornelius, because I assume you're leading the group with the Lantern Null. Dex save.
Sorry? You cut out.
A dex save from Cornelius.
Ah.
As you plant your foot on a tile in the ground, well, a bit of a cobble, but it shifts weirdly, and you see a curved spike come up from the back of it to your ankle.
Oh.
Ooh. You take 1 piercing damage,
Ow.
and give me a con save. And you take 2 poison damage.
Fucking hell, Albert.
As it just needles you and it stings.
Well, guess we're gonna have to be careful once again of his traps. Ow.
Yet another reason I don't care for the man.
Cornelius takes out his magic hand and starts touching every fucking...
It's just great to imagine just this hand like thing just walking and jumping up and down on every tile it can. You're playing your own version of Glover. Nothing triggers.
Actually, hang on, why am I doing this?
I ask myself that question every day.
I believe you're the specialist in this.
Right, so where are we going?
To
The house with the green roof.
Careful of traps.
You're having to get there.
Okay.
It's a trip of about 15-20 feet.
Right.
Big responsibility right now, Siegfried.
Is there a pole or something I can grab that's close by? I'm thinking, what, meter or 2 meter long.
Actually, pretty much any standing wood has long since been pulled away. As I'm sure you'd know, as the rest of them do, that people have just been using it to try and keep fires going and to board up the places.
Okay, so there's nothing handy. Okay. So in that case, I use my sword and just kind of tap things as I head towards the door, trying to see if I can spot anything.
Yeah, and you managed to get your way there. Although roll an investigation. You do notice at the window here, there's been some actual proper wear on the stone. As you think about it, it looks like someone was kneeling, but a bigger someone. Like a big scale someone has been doing this repeatedly. The rest of them know, but you've no fucking clue. But there's evidence of something large and nasty there. In fact, did Siegfried even meet the Oni?
Not
I
yet.
think he disappeared just before we first met it.
Just before.
So I get to the door.
Yeah. There's no traps as far as you can find.
Also remember Delta Split.
Sorry, what?
I'm just gonna point out you guys are fucking terrible at this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, to be fair, I moved one place, and then other people moved in around me.
The wizard just going, Delta Split people. Move, move,
Yeah,
move.
and Malgurn's just like,
We didn't
think
agree on
somebody
any
else
language
has
here.
spread apart a bit so we don't have him cast that nasty spell on us again.
Alright.
I thought we were going to meet somebody, not fight someone.
Oni.
The only does.
Okay.
The only can at any time show up at anywhere. And we don't want to be stacked up against each other.
Oh.
Right. Okay.
And then, as you look back at the
This
window,
is
you
over,
see
I'm gonna
someone.
drink it whole.
But Siegfried, as you then look around back to the building, you see someone peeking through the slats of a boarded-up window at you. Oh, hi. Oh, it's Sam.
Hi, I've got no idea what's going on. These guys wanted to come and meet.
Yeah, you're new.
Yeah, I'm getting that impression a lot.
Yeah. Is this one all right? As he calls out to Cornelius.
Yes.
I mean, he can take disguises.
Yes, he's fine.
Yes.
Don't worry. We met him up outside again. Even though we don't think he's been with us.
You were
time.
outside?
We met up with him. Yeah, we went outside. We came back.
Why? You should have kept going.
For you lot.
Oh, thanks.
We're trying to
Preferably let
help
us in
you.
before the Oni shows up.
Yeah, you helped me. As he gives a little bit of a furtive glance at Cornelius before moving to start to unbar the door. Alright, get in, all of you, come on. And it's just the same as it was, it's just decrepit little house, and you can see at the back there, still sort of sleeping actually from the looks of it, the Dragonborn with one arm and his heavy plate armor. Although with that one arm, it's still cradling that massive, like, sort of misshapen kind of maul.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually am going to be in there.
He's alright, he's just... You know, we take shifts now, so he actually gets a chance to sleep, and it's still picking up on it.
Yeah. Alright, so we're back. We're trying to take stock where everybody is now.
Oh, well, the north went quiet yesterday. I haven't seen any sign of Albert either. Is he alright?
Unfortunately.
What?
He's not a pleasant person.
I mean, I can't blame anyone for being unpleasant right now, the situation we're in.
No, this
Oh, no, he's unpleasant.
This is
Oh, okay.
this has nothing to do with the Oni.
Right. Siegfried, for your benefit, this gentleman is looking a bit pinched in the cheeks, a bit malnourished looking. He is a half-orc gentleman. Pretty small and weedy, actually. Kind of comparable to yourself. In that there's, despite his genetics, there is no bulk there at all.
Okay.
Yeah, just to keep you informed. So, yeah. I don't think there's many people left. Or it could just be the Oni's just keeping them quiet. He keeps coming around here, of course, and he shows off the arm. On the bright side, it looks like it's still healthy, so maybe he could get it back on. I don't know how it works, but you know, he touches things and heals them, so maybe he could just touch his arm and put it back in place.
I very much doubt. Either way, we've got to get a plan going on to get rid of him. Unfortunately, we didn't find what we were hoping for, but we have ideas.
Okay.
Fortunately, Albert is in possession of the one area we could use for this.
I didn't let you use it?
He has no interest in anyone else here.
But what? But he sets up the dolls and the traps, and he boards places up to try and help us. He even brings
I
food
believe
around. He would have
No, the
starved
only
if
reason
it
he-
weren't for him.
I believe the only reason he has done any of this is to buy himself time. He was looking for something else.
Okay. I'm not all that useful. Do you want me to wake him up? Wake up our friend
Oh,
then.
right, we're talking to the. We're not talking to the.
No, you're just talking to Orbison, the half-orc
okay.
gentleman.
How long has he been asleep?
Honestly, he's not been that long.
If it's not been that long, it wouldn't be too horrible if we ended up waking him.
Also, trying to remember where I put his name. Because I did write it down somewhere, but where the fuck is it? It's not in the character bits, from the looks of it. Ah, there we go, I found it. Congrats, Mullah Crag. So Orban just sort of leans against the wall, kind of twiddling his thumbs right now, because he's not really the action sort right now.
Alright, yeah, let's wake our friend up. We'll tell him what situation we're at now.
Alright then, better let me. As he just...
Yeah.
You see him walk away for a bit and come back with a very long spoon. And just sort of nudges the Dragonborn along the side of his head. Slowly the head moves. Right. They didn't get in, did it? No, it's not been around. Surprise, though. All these guys are back.
Hello.
There's one more of you.
Yeah, we've gotten that quite a bit.
It's not the Oni.
No,
It's not the only.
we ran into him again outside.
You've been
I
gone
don't
2
also-
days.
Yeah,
know.
we went out and we came back.
How'd you get out?
Albert,
So, are we marching now to kill it?
well, not quite. Let me lay out the issues we have. The main issue with the Oni is obviously he just flies away, and then you can't pin him down to get rid of him. So we need to get him into a strong enough building that he can't just escape and bash through it. And we have things now that we can throw on him so that we can see him, so that the invisibility isn't the issue. The problem is, as far as we know, the only building that is strong enough for this plan to possibly work is the one Albert's in.
And Albert's not willing to share.
What'd you do?
We helped him.
He's still being a prick.
That's... what?
Yeah, he is the exact opposite of a nice fellow.
Situation we're in and he said no?
Correct. I'll ignore the fact that he also, for some inexplicable reason, is convinced that Cornelius is banging all of the people in this
Okay,
party.
this is not exactly the most necessary part to spell, Rain.
He is the most
The
insufferable man
Dragonborn
I've
just
ever
looks at
met.
you? Are you?
No!
I don't see how
Alright.
this is vital at all.
It's not.
Man is insufferable.
No, our point is to get the Oni.
Yes.
Then we have no choice. If he won't give it, we have to take it.
Unfortunately,
I'm not
What-
sure how that's going to work. Simply because I will point out, and I'm sure most of you noticed, that when he got pissed off and he was banging on that counter, the frail old man was creating large dents.
Well, he must be strong to have lived this long.
There's something clearly going on, and I'm also mildly concerned he has magical artifacts and things still working.
But
He was
what?
doing something with that shell.
That's one who found it. in the
Everything
sewers.
magical here doesn't work.
His does.
And that's what concerns me.
He does, however, appear to be afraid of the Oni.
There is another option if we can't get him in a room. I'm not very useful for it, but maybe your dwarven friend. If we just get a hold of him, keep him pinned, and then you just unleash upon him. I'm very much prepared to end my life that way.
I'm also going to point out we met another individual who's willing to assist, even though he's
He
not
seems
the
a
most
little-
optimal person.
He seems a little off-footed with that whenever you just talk over him. Like, he's saying he's going to sacrifice his life and you just bring up another topic. Is he just... So he's saying this to Cornelius, straight-faced, stony and serious, and then just slowly looks at you.
Rain.
I don't want you to have to offer yourself if there's any other options. I'm just saying. Self-sacrifice is great, but I'd rather we try to avoid that.
Oh, all right. So you found someone else who can fight?
Yes, but when I say he's suboptimal, I think almost everybody can agree while he will be useful, he is not necessarily the person we want to be bunking up with. But we don't really have many options here.
Let's just say he would definitely be the one who appreciated it, all of us sacrifice so he could get away. But maybe he could get a few
He would
shots. at
probably
it.
take some of us with us. With him. Just not alive.
Mm.
What manner of...
His little nest egg.
What kind of person have you allied with?
A wizard of dubious backgrounds.
Isn't that most wizards?
Indeed.
No offense.
Oh, until I met her, I would have taken great insult.
She puts a hand on her hip and just glares.
Cornelius, the effect is a little bit ameliorated by the maid outfit. It's hard to take her serious when she's the help. A servant does not intimidate a man of a man of a manor.
A sexy one does. They know
No.
secrets.
I can't speak for that with Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius is not a man who had sexy servants.
He had pudgy, potato-faced ones that just worked a lot. All right, my lord, I've already had to kill 2 of my kids, but I'm working hard for you. It's fine. Very good. Now get away from me, you horrible little man. God bless you, sweet governor.
Oh, hell. That's where we're going.
It's all right, mate. I ran my family through the sheep dip. We can come up to the house now, can't we? Through the servants' quarters. So. Anyone gonna say something?
Oh, I thought somebody was in the middle of something. That's why I was waiting.
It was just because it was going to be really awkward to say that I'm going to the bathroom for at the kind of quiet moment.
That's
but
fine.
yeah,
Other people can talk.
Yeah.
I encourage the dwarf, the tiefling, the maybe not the kobold, the other human to start talking.
I can encourage the kobold.
Why?
I know what'll get everyone to enjoy this. Let's introduce each other. Anyway, back to the main plot.
Oh, I thought he was serious.
No, we're not fucking doing that until it actually matters.
At all.
Well, there will be some moments when it actually counts, but you won't be doing it every 5 minutes.
And for no reason.
Yeah. As long as you all survive, which is looking unlikely at this point.
It's entirely possible.
So you've rejoined with your allies, to a degree.
So plan A would be get him in the building. Plan B is tackle the ever-loving bejesus out of him and then wail on him.
It's not a good plan, but something we can achieve.
Well, I know our wizard friend could probably enlarge our dwarf friend
Again.
and grapple,
And then push to the ground.
and then preferably lay on top of him while he's at it.
If you need a sacrifice that way, I'm much better suited because I'm not useful in other ways.
You are still very much useful. I don't want to hear that kind of talk.
He is useful, but he does also speak the truth. It would be better if he could hold on to the Oni, and if need be, have Malgern help.
You see,
But
on
he can
one
hold on.
hand, he can grapple, and on the other, oh.
Yeah, that's the main thing is I'm thinking is we want to make sure that the Oni Malgern can grapple, you can then attack.
Lane, I know you're speaking out of empathy here, but right now we need efficiency. And our Dragonborn friend here is correct. If I can enlarge him, and he can grapple onto the Oni, it will free up Malgern, who is at a much better disposition to do damage to the Oni.
Hmm. Out of character, considering the arm situation, can he actually grapple onto him easily and hold him in place? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah,
I'm just
there is no
thinking, like,
rule for disadvantage. You just need an open hand to grapple. Because he's just grabbing by the
Exactly.
scruff, basically.
For reals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. I
Yeah,
would have been convinced that not having two arms would be a problem.
Well, the point is, you're grabbing hold of them, and then you're hitting them with your other hand. You're not, you're not getting him wrapped up in a wrestling grapple. You're keeping a hold of him so he can't get away. Now, I also
As
extend.
someone-
Go on.
As someone who basically spent like an entire day or two making a grappling character, yes, you just need an open hand.
Yeah. Although, personal homebrew, I'm willing to extend that to a fighter, a paladin who has sword and shield to be able to still grapple, because it just makes sense that they'd be able to tie him up with the shield.
Yeah.
Because that's generally what happened
You'd
in
let me
life anyway.
grapple even though I've had both my hands full because shield.
Yeah. Because it just makes sense, to be perfectly honest. It's the way that they do. You bash in, you clatter, you keep them in place.
Well, see, then you get into the argument that, like, well, if they're holding the shield in one hand, why does it take so long to don off it?
Yeah, but in that case, because it's strapped to the arm. And just for mechanical sense, because 2 AC is real useful.
Yeah, but if it's, strapped to the arm, then
Yeah.
why do you need to hold it?
Yeah,
You have
I
to
know.
hold it to be effective.
Yeah, that's the thing. You
But
do
you-
have to hold to be effective, otherwise it's going to move around a lot and not be useful.
Yeah.
So there's means and ways around it, but the main thing is you need one open hand to grapple, or if you're an experienced fighter, I'll allow it to have if you've got sword and board. Just because,
Yeah.
hey, why the fuck not? It doesn't make that big a difference, because grappling has no big benefit to it in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's not something overpowered like forcing them prone. Prone is very powerful. Grappling, it just reduces their speed to 0. And they've got ways out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. They got a couple ways out of it.
Yeah. It also does not... It doesn't change disadvantage or advantage in any way unless you've got a feat for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, away from rule talk, unless you got any further weird mechanic questions.
Alright, the situation I can. Okay.
So yeah, he can grab him.
Okay.
Whether he's as good at it, because your dwarf is strong. Not much else, but he's strong.
Thanks.
Dude, your HP is embarrassing as a fighter. Which is weird because he's got good stats. He doesn't have bad stats.
Yeah, no, my stat line is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hit dice rolls.
It's a
are
mystery.
really shit.
Keep in mind also, he is a paladin, so he can do healing hands. He has a couple of spells. He can smite.
The only thing I'm going to point out is Malgern is good for smashing things. He's very strong, and he's very good for smashing things. Our friend over there can also do spells.
Limited, he is a paladin.
Well, yeah.
Since you're getting involved in this, what is your... Is my analysis of the situation correct, or... I'm
Who's he
asking you-
talking to?
the Dragonborn.
Yes? I will help you kill this thing. That's the only thing that matters, to be honest. I have to get revenge for the people I lost.
Well,
Well,
So-
Malgern, considering we're involved in this, which one do you want?
And there's also the simple fact that he might break free, and depending on
Yeah.
the turns, maybe just have him grab him when he's not grabbed.
I'm just thinking, why not both?
Exactly.
If we do both, then that way if he breaks free of one, he might not break free of the other.
I could go either way.
okay, then, but I believe that a cleric might be needing a rest. She did have a horrible time with certain water elementals and a very stubborn tea kettle.
Oh,
Long
hell.
story.
What?
It was a tea kettle night.
There was a giant mechanical
Actually,
night.
don't we have the spare?
Yeah.
No, I think we left it.
Yeah, yeah, we
brought
have it.
with you.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't
Your
want
brain
it.
would take Your brain would have taken it. So she digs out the tea kettle knight, this thing, but actually big and problematic.
It's kind of cute.
It wasn't so cute when it was attacking us, although the water elementals were the real problem, because once you asked this thing if it was tea time, he was very polite and gave us lovely biscuits.
What? The water weirds hurt you?
Yes.
Weird. I thought they just
Well-
kept the fountains clean.
Apparently, the issue is that something's coming from up north, and it's pissing them off. It's doing something else to the water.
There's nothing north of except the castle.
Bingo.
Well, you think it was the castle?
Bingo.
Something in the castle.
I guess I eat a lot of fancy food. Maybe that went into the sewers. I mean, you hear stories about what the sort of things they eat and all. Maybe that would annoy an elemental that has to go through it.
Well, I think it might be something more serious than that. Apparently the knight himself worked as a sterilization device, recycling the water.
You said a lot of big words, and you
Purifying
can
it.
tell that Orbison does not know most of them.
The tea kettle cleans the water, and he said that
Oh.
something was very, very abnormal.
Oh, that makes sense, because, yeah, you boil water in a kettle so you don't get sick. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
but it said it was barely just keeping it clean. So whatever it is coming off from north, it is nasty to say the least. And I don't think it is due to unusual eating habits.
Okay. I mean, it's just a guess. It's alright. Not really big in the wave world or anything. So about the Oni. When? It's the only thing that matters.
Well,
As he looks to you all, expecting an
Yeah.
answer.
well, I believe as soon as our cleric has rested up, and it's time to go.
And we'll notify our acquaintance.
So we're just gonna fight him in the street.
Don't
See no
think
other
we-
choice.
Yeah.
If that old man
much
is
as I
twisted, we could bust the door.
I would rather fight him indoors. Because we could grapple him and have him indoors. And that way we only have to have one person grappling him.
Unfortunately, I don't think this Albert person. I think just getting inside violently is gonna do more damage to us. Now, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be against just letting the Oni having at Albert first, but I don't think the Oni.
The
It's
Dragonborn
gonna
sort of,
care.
teeth are a bit bared on one side there when you mention that. I wouldn't sick him on my worst enemy. We handle it ourselves. This
I'm
old
afraid
man,
it's gonna
maybe
be
he's just confused.
Oh no. He is the exact opposite of confused. Not to mention we're a little bit cheesed that he has the Jack in the Boxes.
But you
and
said
I don't
him-
think he's going to be very nice to them.
The mouth is slightly open when you mention the Jack in the Boxes and how that's important, apparently, from the way you stressed it.
Alright, so basically down when we were down in the sewers, there were the Jack in the
Don't worry
Boxes.
about it. It's carry on.
You could just tell him the full thing without having to tell him the full thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She explains the whole thing.
And then he asks about when you showed all this to the old man. Like, what got your ire so much? Do you explain that?
Yes.
We know what got Castalia's ire, so yeah.
The Oni needs to be killed, but that sounds like something's going on there.
Exactly. I'm mildly concerned.
And the walls would be more useful.
They would, unfortunately, what we have seen of Albert, getting inside now would not be an easy thing. And I doubt he's gonna listen to our pleas for help. He does not care.
Out of character, didn't he so much as say that he didn't care? It was one of those things where if everybody dies, then eventually he'll just be able to escape.
No, that was actually your buddy. That was your necromancer friend who said that.
Yeah.
I can't remember this in a while.
That's the guy you agreed to work with who said that.
Yeah, the necromancer just basically said that because he has ways of sustaining himself, especially he knew that the Oni at some point would just get bored and leave eventually.
Well, the Oni was inside.
He was upstairs.
If he can get
Suppose.
in, why can't we?
I suppose.
We probably can.
As the DM very subtly hints at something they forgot about as an approach.
No, it's just more about getting to the top of the roof.
I can cast fly.
can just climb.
That too.
These roofs are close together.
I can spring.
Someone will have to help me.
Yeah,
Of course.
happily.
I do have spells as well that need be. Just for such a purpose.
So we're doing it today.
After I get my abilities back.
Your beauty sleep.
Yes.
The Dragonborn glances at Rain for a moment, just think. I think I meant to say you look good in that outfit. Am I? Am I misreading?
I'm only in this because you remember what I was in last time. This is a step up.
Yeah, it also suited you.
Oh,
No,
thank you.
Yeah, okay.
But didn't take that the wrong way, don't worry.
This also looks good on you.
Thank you. She looks mildly embarrassed.
And or like he looks to Orbison as you look. Orbison is just not looking at him. Just very fascinated by what's outside the window right now. Alright, so we rest up. He'll keep watch, he's very good at it. I am, trust me, when you're living like this and with what's happened, I've been very used to looking outside my home. I didn't normally look at the back wall. And how flammable it was.
Sorry about that.
And so as you all hunker down, long rest or short rest?
Well, definitely has to be a long rest. I have no hit dice.
Yeah, she's gonna have to recover because I assume you
I
basically
need my
used all the
spells too.
healing.
No,
You
I
used-
have like 4 spells, but I don't want to do an Oni with 4 spells.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
No,
I
no,
was
it's
gonna
perfectly clear.
It's we know it's the Dragonborn you want to do 4 times. I mean,
My son is going to be the greatest. You know. My son will be
He didn't seem to be doing it, like, in an
That way.
attractive way. It's just a
Yeah.
compliment.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know. It was more like
Well, she does have a bit of a history so far.
it's kind of like Colossus from X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh no, from Deadpool.
Yeah.
You're a very beautiful woman.
Pretty much that, yeah. I mean,
It's like, I'm supposed to say something nice here. Wait, shit.
she's been with a Vistani, a half-orc, and a human who is now a Bodak-type creature. Possibly. Also maybe a Tabaxi. We'll never know.
Dun 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 dun.
As you guys settle down, it's kind of nice, despite the situation, because at least this is generally meant to be open to the air, and it's not, the air is circulating somehow, even though there's not much of a wind at all.
It's not a sewer.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then as time passes, you do hear the Oni sometimes walking along on the roof tiles. And you hear another grumble. There was a dwarf from afar, thrown out on his arse from each bar. He'll die in a gutter with blood-filled sputter, and the rats will feast in a cadaver. Nah, it's a bad fucking tune. That's ruining it, it is.
Well, at least he's learning.
Better.
There was a dwarf from afar,
I'm not sure that's what.
thrown
There
out on
wasn't
his
a
arse
Oni with
from
no
each bar.
class.
Yes, I'll do more emphasis. He'll die in a gutter with a blood-filled sputter, and the rats will feast on the cadaver. Nah, that fucks it up, Ben. Scroll out the E and put it in A. Cadaver, cadaver. I'll just say it's a fancy word. Fancy words always sound fucking weird. Why can't this work? I mean, it was easier with the other ones. Eyes of gold and full of scorn, tell her this won't hurt much, then get the twist until the crunch, hear her sob, curse and whine, you've taken a load off her mind. Yeah, it's an easy one. Everyone understands it's about tiefling, you're breaking the horn off. That flows, that is. That's proper poetry. And this one, oh yeah, fancy man with a terrible aim, thought he'd make it hot and heavy, grabbed his ball and spoke arcane, blew his load and burned the shanty.
Cornelius is doing everything in his might to not groan out in pain.
The little noise you make though, you realize, oh, you're being watched by Orbison. You wrote a poem about that? You did it! You burned my house down! Why?
Oh, you weren't awake when we mentioned that. To be fair, we were currently setting the Oni and a couple. No, we weren't setting the Oni on fire. We were setting the small things on fire.
You were about to get murdered by a lot of little nasty critters.
Yeah.
Locks.
Okay then. Still, you. It wasn't much, but you burned everything I'm getting back to watch.
We do apologize, but hopefully getting rid of the Oni will at least kind of make up for it.
I can't say anything but yes, fair. Yes, it would, but I'm homeless now. And I don't have anything, because you only pulled me out of the fire. I know that sounds ungrateful, and I'm really not, but I don't have anything now. And I had almost nothing before.
Well, to be perfectly fair,
I'm conflicted
I will
here.
make
I just want to say thanks, but also you did it.
I'm also going to make an offer, considering yes, we did just destroy your house. We do have a place. Maybe you can stay over there until you find out what to do.
Okay. I'm saying thank you to the people who burnt down my house.
Not intentionally.
Okay. Yep, that makes it better. I'm gonna go focus on watch again. The hours pass. The Oni does come round again, near when you're just waking up. You just hear more grumbling. Then you hear this horrendous sort of echoing growl. Oh, I'm fucking done with... There's fucking not enough here to keep a growing boy sustained. I should have spaced him out a bit. Maybe keep some breeding couples so it'd actually have something to chew on. Maybe it takes months though. Halflings, everyone's a puppet out quick, isn't it? Yeah, like rabbits, aren't they? They taste a bit like them. Fat rabbits. Oh, this hurts. I'm gonna get something to eat. And he's gone again, and you've now done a long rest. So, you get your spell slots back.
Right.
You get half your max hit dice back.
And I guess we also lose our 10 hit point.
No.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I guess it's time to the win end our lives.
Just shake your doll and do it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do now. Just roll out of bed and shake your doll.
Cornelius, have you forgotten your tagline?
He's
I
trying
have
not to
not.
say it.
I hate you people. What have you done to me?
We didn't do anything. You're the one who says it all the time to the point that you had all decided to say it.
I'm
Could be
saying
worse.
this
Could be
out of
Castalia's.
character.
In all her time spent with you, her most used statement was,
I mean, to be fair, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, don't fault her for that. That's my default thought 90% of the time.
So you're up and alert. There is no breakfast waiting because, hey,
Yeah.
this is a shit situation to be in.
Yep.
Let's have to share out some of the rations that we have.
Oh, this is so much better. I mean, I'm not adverse to rat, to be perfectly honest. They are actually quite healthy to eat. It's just, this is nice, you know? It's horrible, it's tough, it's dry, but it didn't come from something that walked through the gutter. I think
Something to be said about that.
I think I'm getting aspirational. My dad would slap me if I said something like that. The Dragonborn, reluctant to start eating. But you see him do chew and gnaw. But little bits at a time. It's almost like a mouse is nibbling at his stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, come on. You're gonna need your energy.
Oh no, it's just my order. We fast before a battle.
Ah,
But it was 2 days ago when I was expecting the battle.
sorry.
Yeah, I need this. Alright, I'm ready.
Right, let's break into a house.
And let's notify our friend while we go on the way. I say friend loosely.
I don't know, you guys got on real well with him.
Yeah.
The rest of the party, not so much.
Yeah,
But Rain and
that's
Cornelius, he's a cool guy. He knows weird things.
You see, Rain's torn by both that angle and the fact that Necromancer.
What do you mean? He's just her type.
Yeah.
He's just this guy, you know?
You can sometimes you just gonna have to disagree, agree to disagree. Kevin.
Just gotta agree to disagree sometimes. But yes, a corpse always belongs in the grave.
I'm a cleric of Skellimore. There is no agree to disagree on necromancy.
Didn't seem that way. Anyway. So you take
So
to the
who's
streets.
going out first? Is the squishy wizard gonna go outside and get stumped immediately?
Congrats just walks past you all immediately.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's what I'm definitely here for.
Okay. Wait.
We
Hang on.
don't do suicide here, by the way.
Just go in a nice straight line.
Careful. Let me just
Nice straight line.
take out the Make sure you follow this line here because some more elbow straps might still be here.
Alright then. I thought you wanted me to go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just remembered the traps part. That's.
And
we
then
did
there's a
walk down
sharp
here.
twang. And he fails. There
Oh,
is a
God.
bolt that fires from here and jabs into his side.
That's a new one.
For 5 piercing damage. And let's see here. And he also fails to save, so he takes 8 poison damage too.
Oh, for the love of Pumpernickel.
Takes a deep breath. He looks like he's about to turn around, but then goes back to looking ahead and keeps walking in the line you indicated that he walk on.
Hang on, let me stop. let me just do this for you, okay? We're all in this together. Takes out the mage hand to make absolutely sure. To pat the ground ahead, going next to him.
Yeah, you do find another tripwire here. Very low to the ground, very taut, and another crossbow loaded with a bolt. Well, an armature with a bolt that can be fired.
Hmm.
They weren't there yesterday. That is really clear. Also, Orbison does wave goodbye to Castalia. Good luck, devil woman.
We'll be back when the Oni's gone.
Hope so. And yeah, it's easy to undo because you just pull the bolt out. That was also on this line.
What do you say?
No, that's the Dragonborn muttering. That was also on this line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these were not here yesterday.
Good. If they were, I'd be suspicious now.
Yeah, just keep checking the path.
I'm noticing Siegfried's at the back here. You want to get yourself involved here?
Go ahead. Rolling poorly.
The rogue.
Zazzle gonna start checking for traps. Seeing Zazzle is the only one.
Investigation.
Be sure to check for traps.
Whereabouts
Loki.
are you looking? Floor, walls, ceiling.
I'm looking across the floor for tripwires and switches and things.
Loose stones, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for the triggers basically at
Yeah.
this point, rather than where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, it should also be mentioned that
Oh, that took a while. Cool.
before the first thing Cornelius did in the morning was to do this.
Yeah, mage armor, of course.
Hour.
Yeah, Zarzul kind of snaps into a mode that looks a bit body language like Wolfgang. Just no snout to the ground as he's just keeping and checking for every little minute disturbance in the ground. Even though he is a kobold who denies most of his nature, he knows stonework a bit. He knows when something's been tampered with. Not as well as a dwarf does, but he can tell something's a bit off. And you do find that here there was another spot which looked just a bit like the needle trap Cornelius triggered before. It's easy enough, of course. You just put your hand down on it, it launches, and now the spike's just there. It's aimed to go into the ankle. But from then on, as you continue to crawl, it looks pretty free, except you can tell there's been some work done here.
Hmm.
So you sniffed out quite a lot there, Kurzul. You know the plaza is generally safe.
Which one of these doors was our friend again?
Oh
Right here.
yeah, Necromancer was in here, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try to figure out how to get up top. Careful of the front door. That's where most of the traps are.
Well, let's get our friend out first. He has to come with us.
Yeah, but you could do that while the rest of us figure this out.
Okay, so I go, and I gently knock on the door.
Coming. Hang on. Door open, closed. Door open, and as this door opens, you can now see that there is John, but also behind him are the two ghouls, one in a peasant woman's gown, and the other in a wedding dress. And he just turns around. You can see he's mouthing a few things to him. It looks a little bit agitated before he walks through alone. Then opens the door. Hello. So, we're doing this?
We're doing it.
Excellent, excellent. I think. Take a little moment here. Well,
You like climbing.
Oh, that's no problem at all. As he leans out to see Zarzul there and the Dragonborn, I'm not really for frontline though, so I think I might wait till a few more of you have gone by.
That's perfectly fine. And I quietly mentioned we might have another problem to deal with that's involved with getting rid of the Oni, just so you're aware. Don't be shocked.
Okay, what is it?
I'm not sure the individual in there is going to be willing to let us borrow his house.
Oh, well. I mean, you're adventuring type. I'm sure you could deal with him diplomatically, from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've seen you at all operate. No, no, no.
Point is, don't be horribly shocked.
I don't think I will be.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Just,
I'd just like to be polite.
I'm just picturing, however, when all the darkness goes away and there's now a dead old man on the floor, that people will point at the nefarious magic caster who has been apprehended by these noble heroes who also saved the day. And they blame the necromancer for everything that's happened, because it's convenient.
No, I have an inkling that once the magic darkness lifts, you are going to find your way to disappear, and then eventually we might meet up for a drink.
I'm hoping that's what happens, yes.
That is my preference.
Mine too, funnily enough.
We have some very interesting things that I'd love to discuss.
Yes. Hopefully we'll have more after this. I'm curious on what's caused this.
Well, I actually have some ideas on that, but tack first.
I have this very interesting theory.
Around here looks like a very easy place to clamber up. Even for the Dragonborn, it's actually not that hard with the barrels and whatnot in the way and the Tritus. So he just sort of ambles himself up, although he puts them all on the back, offering his hand to you.
Thank you.
So. No, I'm curious. What do you think it is? I'm thinking it's a ritual object. Maybe some sort of sacrificial offering that's still alive, potentially, caught in the worlds between.
I do know. But what was it? Him that mentioned the thing private? Because it's been a while, and
He did bring up it could be a ritual object of some sort of construct that's doing this specifically.
I actually have an inkling that very well might be the case, although I'm more thinking of where it's come from. Because let's be realistic, obviously this is not the orcs.
Oh yes, of course. No, not at all. They don't have an ounce of cunning for that sort of thing. Although our shamans have been quite unusual lately.
We've ran into quite a lot of them. They are doing some very interesting things.
Well,
that's not even counting the stuff that's going on over...
Well, that's the thing, you know... Do you know the pantheon of the orcs, right? It's very important for them symbolically, the shamans, to have just one eye, because they jab out the other one because they're morons, but also because their god was an idiot and lost his eye to the elven god.
Well, yes.
That's why they particularly despise half your people. No, but these ones have depth perception, which is not standard.
That is a point.
And the spells they call on are more akin to the type of those I know professionally.
That I definitely do agree.
Yes.
I noticed that one rather quickly.
That's not usually their way. They're much more brutish. If it hurts something, they'll use it instead. Usually a club.
We also got the cultists further up that we ran into there earlier. They were sacrificing people.
Oh yes, I saw their camp in action. It was It's like they've never had a steak before. Like they've never hunted an animal that didn't have a full comprehension of language before. They were very accustomed to killing and eating those people. My associates back there, and he checks to make sure the Dragonborn is gone because he doesn't know it. My associates back there, they don't devour people with the same skill that they do. Admittedly, they work on corpses and are mainly for bones, but like these tribal beings, they just tore them asunder with tooth and claw with incredible ease. And the strangest thing was the difference between them. There was the big muscled ones, and then there was the shivering ones that had barely an ounce on them. I imagine they just keep that way so they don't get eaten by the bigger ones. By this time, everyone else is on the rooftop.
Oh, yeah, we need to go.
Oh, must we? Oh, yes.
Why don't you go first, just because I've got this one and I point to Pufflesworth, and I don't want to fall on top of you.
Well, I was also going to do it for the sake of modesty.
Oh, don't worry. At this point, considering what I'm wearing, I haven't got much right now, unfortunately.
And yeah, he ambles
You
himself
could have
up.
more.
You could have had a full floor-length evening dress to chop up at your leisure.
Yeah, but she's not going to chop
You
up
could have
any
also
of
asked
it.
Siegfried for his spare clothes that he had as a costume. Admittedly, there's a lot of holes in it, and maybe some bloodstains.
Siegfried never offered it.
He
Yes,
did,
it is.
Did he?
when you were
Yeah.
already dressed
I
as a
didn't hear
maid.
him. I didn't hear it.
You did, because
Oh,
you
well.
answered back to him.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm not here right now. Please leave a message after me.
So what we have established here is she chose this. She could have just had a tunic and trousers.
Well, to be fair, I said that the other set of clothes was full of holes and blood stains, so it's like, I think I've got to keep the fresher one.
Yeah.
At least it's
I'll
clothing
make,
anyway.
I'll make that argument. I don't know why, for some reason, I went near over my head.
Yeah. As you clatter up onto the rooftop, you see a lot of foot traffic here. Very large foot traffic. There's clumps of tiles that have been depressed and cratered with frequency. Quite a lot of it leading to a window at the top floor. But then also, you just get a view of the rooftops, and man, this Oni has been walking around all over the place. But the foot traffic, very heavy at Albert's. And now I need to get copying a few more tokens. Let's see, let's get the two guests over. Yes, here we go. And then I need to grab you lots. Why do you never... You never group up when it's convenient for me. Only when convenient for the bad guys.
I did group up for a change.
And reveal... Well, as you all managed to somehow get into this fucking room. Here we go.
I can't wait.
There we go. There's a lot of hushed. Excuse me. Pardon me. And the Dragonborn is looking daggers at John. He has no knowledge of him, but he looks shady as fuck, which is kind of obvious.
We already pointed out he was shady as fuck.
Oh yes, let's get the stealth going.
Oops.
Oh, stealth.
Oops, it's not a word I want to hear at this point.
Oops.
Congrats, did real well. Like 15's not bad.
Don't say that. I haven't rolled yet. Okay, carry on.
How is he more stealthy than the not? Oh fuck.
You've had
Because
this
I
issue with
have
another
special
Dragonborn.
I have special non-squeaking armor.
You've had this issue with other Dragonborn.
Yeah, we have. I think it's just a racial.
Just how the
thing.
dice rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you get in here, this place is a bedroom for something nasty. You see a big torn up mattress that has been flung onto other torn up mattresses. Well, you know what I mean. Just bundles of material, just hedged together. There are bones here, covering the floor. Small bones. Most broken, most chewed.
Okay, have we just wandered into Ani's bedroom?
Yes.
You can also see a few ruffled pages with familiar wording on them.
Oh no. I'm just gonna do everyone a favor here and just take it and just lit them on fire. There we go.
Hold on. Check
No, we're gonna read them first.
Oh no, it's the same poems as he's read out.
Yeah, it's the poems. I'm doing everyone a favor. This is
Okay.
not something that needs to survive.
Where's the bed, by the way? Which corner?
Basically where you and Castalia are on is at 2x2.
All right, time to take a long rest.
Yep. Let's go to sleep.
To our wonderful necromancer friend, I point out. Hold on. So if the Oni's been sleeping up here, why hasn't our friend downstairs had any issues?
Creatures like this, not my forte. I have a little bit of passing knowledge. And I can say I don't know.
I think I can figure out why.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, think very carefully. At what level have all the traps been?
Down low, not up high where the Oni is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, inside buildings as well.
And periodically, when the Oni did circle around, he always made comments on, oh, the mannequins, oh, the mannequins. And he wasn't talking about them when he was just wandering around for funsies, now was he?
So why do you think the traps are for people?
Potentially.
That's the question as to why.
Well, somebody had to bring the darkness, now didn't they? Somebody who can open up a portal and let people out.
Oh, you think it was a portal? I was also thinking it could be a dimensional rift, maybe tapping directly into the Shadowfell.
Actually, I can see that. Okay, well, hold on. Let's discuss that later.
But just think about it. They've been able to harness dimensional rift. It might not even be an intentional portal. It could just be a tear, but they are containing. And you say it hadn't been spilling out or do you not? This is incredible. Potentially. As he looks at the Dragonborn, who is sort of snarling at him.
Let's focus on solving this first, and then we can get more into the details.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I do want to get into the details.
I really do want to get into the details, yes.
So who wants to lead?
Siegfried, can you check the store?
Okay. Checking the door.
It's a big, heavy, basic-ass lock. It's also here.
That's a window up there.
Yeah.
I'm also going to mention we might want to also check for magical bits. Because if they are working together, I don't see why they wouldn't put something magical in the lock.
It's also got a big keyhole that you're able to just peer through, and you can see a tatty-robed figure standing there, absolutely stationary. You can't really get an angle to see much more, but you seem to be looking at the hip, maybe chest portion of something in shitty clothing.
Right.
But the lock itself looks like child's play.
Okay.
It might have 2 tumblers of anything. It's not even a roll for you.
I'm just going to mention to Cornelius, there might, very quietly, that there might be somebody on the other side, or there's a mannequin with clothing on.
Alright then. Rain, you might want to just step away a little bit from
Oh,
when you open
yeah.
the door.
Right, okay. I unlock the door. First I use a little bit of oil just to oil the hinges in the lock to make sure it's as quiet as possible.
Good call. It did
And
seem
then
pretty
I-
rusty.
And then I gently open the lock and check to see which way that if I got the hinges, it must be on my side, so I'm going to push it open.
Oh no, you... Not the hinges. I thought you were oiling the lock itself, so it moves smoother.
Oh,
Yeah. Hinges are on the other side. So it's a push door for you.
Yep.
And as you give it a push, you see and can feel the weight of the figure behind it, and it's moving. As in, it's moving with the door.
okay. Attach the door.
As you notice, you're able to see a bit more now with the keyhole. The figure has been pushed around by the door, as if it's sliding on the floor. It's still upright. And you can see another doorway across the hall. There's enough room to poke your head through.
Very carefully, I poke my head round the corner.
You're able to see the mannequin sort of tottering on its base, and behind it, the stairs leading down. If you keep pushing the door, the mannequin falls down the stairs.
Can I reach the mannequin to hold it steady while I kind of get round the door to move it out?
Yeah, it's one of those really awkward things that you could sort of curse peasant buildings for, in that once you open the door, it'll be basically covering the hall.
Yeah. Is there any way for me to kind of grab the mannequin so it's not going to fall down the stairs?
I could probably grab it with my mage hand.
Well, I mean, he can also keep a hold of it. It's not like flush to the hall, but it's about where you could just get an arm through. But
Yeah, I'm still going to use my mage hand to help hold on to it.
okay, yeah. Which means you're now able to get basically this. You've got 2 squares available in this hall and a doorway.
Okay, can we kind of get the door by holding the mannequin right? Can we get the door open and then shove the mannequin into the room that we just came?
Well, that's the problem here. When you've got the door open, it's across the hall.
Yeah.
Oh, no room.
Welcome to a fresh puzzle I call fucking awkward.
So yeah, let's first of all get the mannequin inside.
So you can only put... So you got a kobold, a wolf, and an owlbear that need to go across the river in a canal. If you leave the kobold on the shore with the owlbear will eat the kobold. If you leave the oats with the kobold will eat the kobold.
I fucking love it. Because I immediately I was like, this is one of them puzzles, and you're like, yeah, you can't
Well,
leave a couple over.
In this case, just picture how fucking awkward this is. You're all in heavy armor, you've all got weapons and shit. You got gear, you got equipment, and now you gotta fucking shuffle around this little fucking shitty hallway with this awkward door arrangement. This is a wonderful mental image to just have. A lot of shuffling, a lot of pardon me. Just keep jiggling it, twist it a little bit, twist it. So,
Now bop it.
you've got the mannequin suspended for right now. It's not teetering over the stairs.
Okay. And I can't open the doorway all the way up.
You can open it all the way open so long as the mage hand or something is holding the mannequin in place.
Yeah. So let's just open the door and pull the doll into the mannequin inside.
No, you've forgotten the problem here. The door is basically here. You know what I mean? Hang on, I'll just draw
Yeah, the door is
Across the
open
hall.
into the with
with
Hold
the
on.
doll
If
on the other
somebody-
side.
If when the door opens and something's holding onto it,
Oh,
what happens if
okay.
somebody stands here, the
Okay.
door shuts, and then they pull the mannequin over?
Okay, now I see what I mean, because I was seeing as it moving from here to here.
I thought
To
it was here. No.
Yeah,
It's more
Okay.
awkward.
I understand.
Yeah, if somebody were to stand here,
Yeah,
the door shut, they could then pull the mannequin in, and then the door could open again.
Except you've got man and mannequin here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you got a full door that's
How
got to
about-
swing open.
What happens if they put it above their head?
How about a small kobold? Could a small kobold sit in the bottom corner there with the mannequin?
Yeah.
So bring the mannequin down.
Close the door and then just have this mannequin kind of standing atop you.
Yep, yeah, this is normal. Yep.
Also, this door, the hinges are on this side in the hall, so it also opens inwards from where you are.
Mhm.
Oh, that wasn't a bit. Hang on, then both doors would just line up with each other and we could just wander straight through.
No. Because that one will be there. And that one will be there.
Yeah?
Yeah. So if we close this door first, and then open this one, and then open this one, the doors basically is the.
Cornelius, open that door and I'll shove the mannequin to you.
Yeah.
And then we just ignore this and just wander straight.
Yeah.
And we can go on.
But let's have Siegfried also check the other lock once we get the mannequin inside.
Okay, so you pass the mannequin inside.
Yeah.
It gets rattled and stuff along. It's actually a pretty bad quality looking one.
Right, I'm going out here, and I'm going to check the other door.
Again, this is child's play. This is your basic. They had a lump of iron, so they carved a hole in it.
Right. I oil the hinges and get the door open.
So now this area is blocked off. And as you step inside, you find kind of the same deal. There is a large mattress. There is a big, horrible, filthy bedding area. There is small bones, although more delicately arranged. There are several bear traps sitting around, mostly unfastened.
Okay.
Yep,
Question, is it two only or just one?
I think it's two.
What?
Remember, they can look like people. So if one of them decided to look like Albert after they killed him,
But why would they go through all this charade then?
they wanted something.
I don't know if Onis are that complex a creature.
I don't know about that. They seem to
We
like
don't know
messing with
who's-
people.
We also don't know who's hired them. Because they didn't do this on their own. They obviously came here for a reason, and whoever it is probably tied to whatever tide decided to make it dark.
Also, another solution to the door issue. You've got the hinges visible, so you can just pop the pins.
Yeah, I was thinking along those lines.
Yeah. And you've oiled them up so they come away easily. Just a few quick
sma- inside.
Yep.
Do we want to leave one so we can actually close the door and hope like how it will hold? You know, tactical retreat and all the rest of it.
Why not? Just in case.
So now what then? I guess we'll have to yell at the Oni and run downstairs.
Well, we'll want to be quiet about it, preferably, but
Oh yeah, there is one
I
thing
have
in
a
there.
question. This is a wizard's house, isn't it?
It's just
Well.
it's just the oldest stone building in the slums. It might
Yeah.
have been
Yeah,
a small
but
temple.
there
It
is
might
a-
have been a church.
Yeah,
It
but
might have
what
been a
I'm meaning
tavern.
is there's a wizard here at the moment, isn't there?
Well, somewhat of dubious.
Of dubious
Magical
background.
Yeah.
I have a different question. Isn't there a spell called alarm or something like that for people for making sure nobody sneaks up?
Mhm.
correct.
Yes.
What would this wizard is paranoid? Wouldn't he do something to make sure he knew when somebody came in this way?
Well, at the moment he's mostly just been careful about the Oni, which he knows.
If he's not friends with the Oni. That's what I'm trying to make the argument. And if that's the case, why would he alarm? Because he knows that the Oni is not a threat to him.
We didn't find traps on the rooftop, which was where you'd trap for Oni.
Correct.
He was
He
trapping
was also
people.
physically an old man.
Yeah.
But he could also punch a hole in
sure.
the bar.
Siegfried, there's actually a small object on the hearth there. It's quite distinct. It is a dried out hand nailed to a wooden board in the back of a hand. The fingers have been chopped off nearly to the knuckle, and it makes grasping motions at a dagger that is lodged in the same board.
Creepy.
Are you going to point that out to anybody?
Hey, I believe you're you know something about dead magic?
He looks very tense whenever you're about to say you're a necromancer, as he makes shifty eyes at the Dragonborn. Yes, I'm magically inclined, yes.
Can you have a look at this?
Oh, yes, of course.
And Khadija just makes hands out to the side and just go, okay, not asking your party members also arcane.
He does a beckoning finger for Rain to join him.
Oh, she was already joining.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is fascinating.
Khadija starts to get a little bit jealous that he's not being included in the cool kids club here.
He can join if he wants. Nobody said he can't come.
It's like being the third wheel, isn't it?
I just picture him standing next to Malgurn, and then I'm just looking at him like, first time .jpeg meme,
Oh, this is interesting. This is very good. Although very bad. No,
Rain is very
it's-
interested.
It's very bad. It's a terrible thing. This is amazing.
Rain is both clearly very interested, but at the same time, she's getting one of those vibes like it's hitting too close to home right about now.
Cornelius, do we need to get ourselves a new party?
Oh, you're including me in the party now?
Yeah.
I think it's a little late.
I'm
You
starting to wonder if I'm actually in a good party.
You can actually
We the evil
feel...
guys?
The baddies.
Ah, it's a bit bulky, though. I can't just... Like, I'd be up front to worry you, not the rest of them, but I would definitely love to carry this home and give it a good, proper inspection. But we have a job to do. I have a job to do. It's a job I've been employed for, and I will not be backstabbed by my employers. So... But this is amazing.
I kind of lean over and whisper, "Meet up for a drink."
Oh.
I know,
She
but...
has full intention of bringing it because of a specific reason.
I know, but look at that. It's not dead. It's not undead. That is alive.
She just whispers, when this when the darkness
I know,
breaks,
but
I'll be able to
just
conceive
look
it.
at it. It's as much an art piece as it is. Oh, it's beautiful. You're right. We have other things to do, but it's a small stairway, so I don't need to go just yet. So, I'll take the rear guard.
Agreed. Cornelius. No, she says, Cornelius, you're sticking with us. Same thing.
All right.
I would assume Malgern and our other new friend will be going first.
Congrats.
Yes, that. I could
Or
remember
if you
that.
want to Mullicrag. Hang on, I'll paste his name just for the hell of it. Because apparently Dragonborn names just need lots of Zs, so I put in a couple.
Alright. So Malgern, you and Congrats can go down.
If,
And we'll follow.
if you're struggling, you just call me Crag.
Thank you.
So, shall I go first, or you start, fellow?
Allow me. Move my token. Where's my token?
Oh. His token isn't on his screen, but it's on mine. Pull your token up as where Zarzul is.
Weird. I'll move it around a bit, see if that helps.
Okay.
For some strange reason,
Wait,
Zarzul was somewhere else. And
Yeah, roll 20 is weird.
Just lag.
It's been having latency issues. I've sort of rolled before. It took about
Well, lots of people are
3
using it.
seconds to roll.
Okay, so down the stairs.
On the stair. Oh, those are the stairs, right?
Alright, hang on. I'll guide you myself.
Yeah, I
There we
figured
go.
as much because
Because you gotta scroll up quite a bit.
I will point out it's
Okay.
hilarious how the issue is on Raider's screen and not mine.
I know,
or
when
right
you
next
share
to
a
mine.
connection. I know.
It's okay, I can always scream and look.
So yeah, for all of your benefits, he's over here. Which is just directly up of where you guys are, even though he went down.
So I assume like that stairs for it going down further,
Yes.
and then this is a. I'm gonna just do this with the arrow keys. Do it one at a time.
You can see it is up. Like the previous rooms were trashed. This one looks just untouched, really. Like there's not been a lot of traffic moving through here. The doors are sturdy. Didn't look like a lot was going on. Also, I can reveal more rooms since you walked through it.
Yep.
Because it is like, yeah, I'd say there's a few bits of light, a few candles burning on the walls.
For the most part, it seems clear.
Don't shout. For fuck's sake, you don't shout.
It's all quiet down here.
Well, is anybody gonna follow me?
Sneak, sneak,
Yeah,
sneak, sneak,
Congrats
sneak.
is following.
Yeah.
So he's done
Nobody
that.
Nobody came down, so
Yeah, congrats, follows you down.
Yeah, I was
okay.
about to say I was following down with every. I thought we were forming a chain.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't see anybody else showing up, so I was like, hello?
So he just shouted out.
For fuck's sake.
There's a door there as well. Hang on, just need to.
What about the other three? Because we're in the back.
I guess Casali just really wants to read that poetry. There we go. Oh, what are you doing, Malgern? There's several doors.
I'm gonna go check. I'll check this door here. I'm assuming the white things are doors.
Bottom, left.
Yeah, bottom left where I'm standing.
Okay. That was actually two choices. Yeah, it just opens up, not even locked. You find yourself in a small sort of sitting room, although a very awkward one. There's a view out to the street below, although the window is so heavily boarded up, You mistook it for a wall for a moment. The fire is empty. Not even got ashes in it.
I guess we'll continue. What's behind door number 2?
Alright, as you take a hold of that and open up, you see a long hallway, and there's a mannequin looking outside the window.
Alright, more mannequins.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Did Zarzul go down the stairs so that we could also go down the stairs?
Doesn't look like it.
I was wondering why, because I thought Cornelius was with us in the back.
This party, man.
Guess
I
what,
went up a
motherfucker?
little bit.
We're rolling initiative. Because, Malgurn, as you walk up to the door, it pivots on its base. You see the arm rise up with a chunk of wood in its hand, and it tries to swing down at you. Is there a surprise round? Dee-ba-doo. It's an advantageous one. Doesn't hit, though. As the woodwork wallop goes wide. Now say that quickly. No? No one?
Would
Would that not be woodwork wallop for you? Or is it the V's that are W's instead?
We don't use W, so.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering which way around it was.
So translate.
Oh, you're taking out the German.
Like when you say
the
Willen sometime or
Vater.
Village. I was wondering if it's the same with woodwork. Of just opposite sounds. Because I know there's another dialect that does that sort of thing, or another language, I mean. I'll just have these guys move like sidekicks. So, first up, Siegfried, you don't know what's happened.
Oh, I'm gonna go up and check on Margaret anyway. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, to be fair, you saw him disappear through this door. You don't know he's behind this one.
Okay, so he went.
Yeah, I did. I went around. Yeah, there you go.
You
That's
see...
about where I get to.
Yeah, you can just about glimpse Malgurn, but you also see that the doll is in a motion as just swung something at him.
Oh, that's cool. Posing dog.
Mm-hmm. Probably not the best thing Malgurn should be doing right now, posing dolls. Malgurn, this thing just took a swing at you.
I'm gonna take a swing back because I don't like swings. Make sure I use the right.
Great reasoning. I don't like swings.
Well, no, I mean if it takes a swing at me, it could be a mimic.
That's a hit.
I don't know what it is, so instinctively I'm gonna try to.
As you just give it a good bash with the sword, and it rocks back and forth a little bit. It's got missing a lot of chunk there. It's almost gone.
Almost, you say.
Not to your usual extent. That's a hit, and that's it destroyed, because you can't
Yeah.
roll over that there. As you just give it another bash, and it just comes off the pole and clatters to the ground.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Loudly.
Yeah, it's wood.
I look at Zarzul and I gesture for him to go down the stairs.
But we are at 3 hours, 15 minutes here, people.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we keep going, it'll be hours, I feel. This is going to be a whole session in itself.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, this is a good part to stop then.
Yep, you've smacked one doll that had movement. You also
Well-
shouted that nothing's here while sneaking.
It started it.
I fucking love that. Sneak, 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 sneak. Nothing here.
Nobody fucking followed me.
Anyway, we'll be back next week I think everyone, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No reschedulings or
Uh,
anything.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. It'll depend on when I get back here.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Alrighty.
Looks like I've still got 2 more weeks before work will resume.
Alrighty. So yeah, that'll do for this session of Rescue at Raxis. Next time, deeper into the House of Albert.